See, that's completely different. I don't know what I'm looking at. It's all different.
Yeah, we changed some
Are we
things.
live? We are. I think we're live. I don't
All
know.
right, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Um,
We are live.
Tonight we are trying something a little different, so please be patient with us while we.
All my screens look different. So I'm like, Kim, what do I do?
For the past month, or has it been 6 weeks, we have been doing live streams and we have been using open broadcast software, and we wanted to be able to integrate uh, guests. So we have combined our systems with
Iceman.
through StreamYard. We've seen a bunch of other people use StreamYard, and so it comes well recommended. Um, so let's do our introductions because we love that you're here. And honestly, we do this because we want to interact with you. So we'll do our introductions. We're not going to do anything fancy yet, but we have some fancy new features that we're going to try tonight. But first, we're going to establish that we can do our baseline regular stream, and then we'll sort of try and build a little bit, and hopefully we don't crash anything because we have new software.
Hello, John Wilburn, Alan Drab, Colleen.
John, great to see you.
Um,
Welcome to the stream.
See, and she set this
Colleen?
all up, so I have questions. We are on two different streams at the same time?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're using our OBS, which is Open Broadcaster Software, on one computer to combine our green screen, our background, and all that stuff. And then that software has a feature. Oh God, I'm gonna bore the snot out of people real fast here. So I'm gonna go real quick.
Just answer the question. How do we
No.
two different?
We're just using the software that we would normally use to send our stream. We're sending that to StreamYard. So we're sending this to StreamYard as our camera. But now, since we're in StreamYard with our camera, we can bring other people into StreamYard too and share the screen and talk with other people. So if anybody who is good and comfortable with StreamYard, like John, we would love to have you in at some point. I mean, we could try it so that we can, try out these new features with someone who's already sort of familiar with how it works. But it doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
Mexican Spec says OBS is old body style. See, I'm a pilot. I thought it was Omni bearing selector. Anyway, so OBS could be all kinds of things. Okay. The question I have still is, you have, when I was looking on my computer,
we took the heart away.
Oh, the heart. Oh, Mexican Spec want to know what the heart is. There's a little heart down the lower right-hand corner that covers up part of the comments, and it's so people can give you more hearts by tapping on it. Oh. I hate that thing, so I took it away.
Look at this.
What is
this?
I
can make it do things.
Oh, hey, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
So
see, some new features.
So what happens is, where was I at? I don't know. You had like a live stream coming up, and I had a live stream coming up on each of our channels. So what happens? People can sign into either one, or how did that work?
You can. You may be watching the live stream on the Kim Fixes Things channel, or you may also be watching on Buff Del Campo.
And they both end up here.
Yes, and we see comments from both, but I don't know if we can tell which channel they came from. So I apologize on that. And when we respond in messages, it will go to both channels. And
so then, do you think it gets archived on both channels, or we'll have to wait and see?
It will, yes, because that's a YouTube feature. And as far as YouTube doesn't know we're being sneaky using all this software. Now, one of the things is the unpaid version. We have one of the paid versions of StreamYard, but it is not the premium because we are not made of that kind of money. Well, John, we could use StreamYard's green screen feature, but so I would lose some of the buttons that I'm very much accustomed to, like being able to show you the internet while I browse it live.
She goes right to, she can do a lot with the with what's in our background because we're using OBS.
Yeah, so it's very powerful for me to be able to scroll through those things on the fly while we're talking. Whereas, hey, see, Barrows says he's seeing it on Kim Fixes Things. So yeah, we don't have to use OBS, but it gives us some extra features. And I mean, I'm not ready to give it up yet, we'll say, because we've been using it for 6 weeks and it seems to do the trick.
Okay, so the next thing is, I don't know if John is prepared to, he might be sitting there in his underwear.
Oh yeah, no pressure, John. I was just.
But it'd be really cool to bring somebody in and test this.
At some point in the night, and honestly, we wanted to make sure we could do these basic things like turning this text on and off and managing. There is 2 giant screens and then 3 other screens around us. It's a lot to manage, but we want to be able to do. And then when we start talking to people, we're going to have to put on headphones, and we have a headphone splitter, so that we can both hear but not get feedback.
Kim, we may need your nerdiness on this. Probably, I'm kind of into like some old CB radios, and I get so frustrated with wiring anything. I think, Kim, just look at this. And in like in a minute, she'll have it fixed. She's never seen a CB radio before, but it's working.
Yeah, like we fix it. I just think
Guns and Gears.
I don't know what that means. What was the comment that somebody made about a love room?
Last week somebody wanted to see Kim's love room. But I was like looking at that like, what is this? But it was like you wanted to see the live room, which was a scan across the screens and everything, but the stupid spell checked it wrong, which is normal. Oh, but when I first saw it, I thought, what's going on here? Early Gremlin X. Oh, I used to have. There was one I called a Gremlin. Gremlin X. One of those. Man, I'd love to have another Gremlin. Kim does look nice tonight, doesn't she? This is her live look, and sometimes she's in her shop look, which is like has to wear glasses because crap comes up and hits you in the eye otherwise.
Constantly.
Or the grinder, you gotta have glasses on, and she gets right in there. And I'm old enough that I get underneath the car and I try to stand up afterwards, and it's a 15-minute ordeal getting to stand up straight again. She'll slide right under the car, do something, get right up because she's many moons younger than me. So good to see you, Barrows. Let's see. That is a Gremlin X in Avatar. Yeah, Gremlin X. I like Gremlin X's. Let's see. Comment merge on your StreamYard. 2 channels YouTube comment sections don't merge. Couldn't see Barrows' comment, for example. Guns and Gears.
It's a Cabral groupie.
Oh, I don't know if he behaves himself here. I'm fine.
The comment thing. If you're on one channel or the other, you might not see all the comments that we see, and I'll try and sort out and bring things up. I don't know. We're learning. And as far as someone being a Cabral groupie, as long as they're respectful, we won't have to kick them out. We do have a ban hammer. We have people who are moderators who can get rid of people if they're rude. But people can say snarky things, and I don't really care. But, obviously there is a line, and we'll all just have to try and use good judgment.
X's had the stick and little V8. Which is not the case. I did think she thought all the Gremlins had the small V8 and a stick.
Oh, who are we talking about?
Oh, Colleen, there was, I think it was Colleen. I don't know. I'm looking over here. You're looking over there. I'm lost. It was all in draft. It says, I did think all the. See,
okay,
there you go. Okay, I didn't know how that worked. Now I know how that works. That's over where the comments used to be. So I got the whole thing's like a little weird.
So StreamYard doesn't do some things well, like integrating chat, which we're struggling with still. And it has to put it on the right side. and we're used to having it on the left side, and there's no pop-out feature. So we're struggling a little here. So please forgive us while we keep this moving along.
I'm going to try, while you're talking,
Okay.
I'm going to try to go find my files that I want to.
Dougster of Wolverine Garage is here.
there?
Welcome to the stream, Dougster. Let's see.
I gotta look and look and look. I said the wheels always get stuck in the divots, concrete. Oh, that must be something else. Okay, here we go. I got, because there's some pictures I wanted to show, but oh, where's my thumbnail picture? My thumbnail picture.
We can
I
put
will
that
go
up.
back. I think I have it here.
We might have to do that later. John,
I have it.
there are no mods in my channel, so if somebody wants to post garbage stuff, they can put it there, and I'll have to take it out after the stream, and then we will fix that for next time. There's your get banned for the after one night stream kind of thing.
Okay, now I got it. Oh, this cursor's still over here. Okay, how do we switch to this?
Roy says hi from Ottawa. Hello, Roy. Welcome to the stream.
Hello.
You need a second monitor or tab. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 monitors.
We have 1, 2, 3.
I'm losing my mind.
We have 5 monitors going right now. Okay. I don't know how to bring that up anymore. I think you have to do that. This is kind of merging different chats for you, but we can't see each other's across tabs or hosts. You know, maybe we will have to consider that and put it all on one channel. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to do that. Wayland Burger, is it Burger? I hope it's Burger. Burger.
I think I'm making the executive's decision right now to simplify this is that we're not going to multi-stream in the future. I think that we are going to do our regular Tuesday night streams on the Buff Del Campo channel.
And we can do one night a week on your channel. Maybe. Okay.
But this is what we've been doing on Tuesday nights as a regular thing. So collectively, we're going to do it for tonight because there may be some people who've never actually gone to the Buff Del Campo channel.
But they go to her channel.
But they know my channel.
She got 3 times the subscribers I do. So, you know, there's people that watch hers that don't watch mine.
Right. So this is our utterly shameless promotion of his channel. I am there a lot, and I am here every Tuesday. Yes, you are a moderator, but I don't know how. I don't know how right now. I'm so sorry.
We got a lot of stuff going on.
Actually, there is a 6th computer that I'm supposed to have here that I cannot. Okay,
so we got a lot of stuff going on. If we get through 2 hours of this, we might be good at it at the end. My dad's friend Ed would repaint all his cars. Oh, how do I my mouse doesn't do that. You have to select it's Doug's Wolverine Garage. My dad's friend Ed would repaint all his cars burgundy, including his Gremlin that had 2x4 scraps to lift the rear high enough to clear the. I can't read that.
2A and 10 keystone.
A and 10. Oh, 8 and 10 keystones. Okay, those are wheels. I've got close-up glasses on. That used to be a big monitor with big chat on it. Now it's just small enough. I got to lean forward and squint.
I just couldn't get that any bigger. I really tried.
I have to lean forward and squint a little. I'm going to have to mess with glasses or move the monitors closer or something. I don't know. We're doing okay.
Does that help a little?
That helps.
Okay, we're working on things here.
Oh, having that big monitor sideways with the chat on it with letters that were like 3 inches high, and that was good. Okay, so how do we bring that picture up, Kim?
That picture.
If you're not drinking, I'm drinking. I drink this a lot. It's Lipton green tea. And this one's got some flavor in it, and it is a diet green tea. I can't drink anything with sugar in it because my blood sugar will go way up, and then my A1C will go crazy, and then the doctor scolds me, and then I die early.
He's been doing so good. We don't want to kill him.
Oh, and last night I cheated a little. We went to my son's house, and he is quite the chef. And there were some, I don't know, what are they called? Rotten potatoes or something. I'm not supposed to have any potatoes. I had a little. But it was so good. Floating Power 6. Oh, yes. It's a 1950 Ford. And we're covering it up. It's a 1950 Ford. Next to last year for the flathead Ford 6. The reason I put it up there is because I like engines that are painted like machinery, like looks like it belongs in a machine shop, like a lathe or something, or like a mill or some piece of machinery. And that looks like machinery to me. I really like that color. And I like the texture and the color and everything. That's really why I put that engine up there. And, there's all the Hemi Orange and blues and Ford Blue and all these different things, Chevy Orange. They've been around for a long time. I still like the machinery look. Did you get that Subi back up, or is it still in the Isle of Shame?
I didn't even get it to the Isle of Shame yet.
We moved it into a normal parking space so it isn't blocking the driveway anymore. Rick Salmon says, find Rick Salmon. Are you real tall? You had it there. Kim, are you real tall or is Buff Jared? Yeah, it's I'm a little short guy, and she is
I am. I think
my head comes up to about here.
I think I'm about 5 or maybe 6 inches taller than Buff is, because people are different heights.
Yeah,
it sometimes looks oddly disproportionate, but that's just how
that
life
machinery
is.
look. I have a friend that I'll find it. He has a Packard.
Jerry.
Packard. What are you looking at?
Jerry Trulex.
Jerry, that's my brother. How you doing?
Good to see you.
He's out in Kansas.
I'm glad that it looks good to you. That's excellent. We're trying to keep things a high quality here.
Jerry and I talk once in a while.
He likes video. Moving fast tonight.
He likes video chat, and I like to be on the phone. So we don't always chat as often as we should. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm trying to find
Mexican spec. When I put my boots on, it adds 4 inches.
When she puts her boots on, I need binoculars.
Depends on which boots. Which boots. Depends on what kind of dancing we're doing.
I'm trying to find a picture. Where is it? Is that it? Ooh, where'd it go?
It's over there.
Over there. I was talking about that machinery look. There. That's a Packard straight 8, belongs to a friend of mine. And Kim, if you lean away from it a little bit, you're covering the supercharger.
Oh, it has a supercharger.
He put a supercharger on it, and I got that picture. How do we scroll this? How do we scroll that so you can see the top of the box over the carburetor?
I think that's my fault, because I blew up the other picture.
There. Can I zoom? Maybe I can zoom in on that. Oh, yes, I can.
Yeah.
And then we can go down there. This isn't the picture. He actually has a Packard emblem. That's some kind of homemade box, and he has a Packard emblem on it, and it looks like a factory supercharger on a Packard engine, which of course it isn't. He did all that. That supercharger came off a Kaiser, a 6-cylinder Kaiser.
That's cool. I like that. I want a supercharger.
That's this guy's name, Vern, out in California, and you can find him on YouTube. He has these beautiful big birds that he takes them out and flies them, and they're macaws, and he's got YouTube videos on that. Not a lot of them, but you can see him out there, and you can see in the background there's like Kaisers and Henry J's and a Packard and old Studebaker. Yeah, he's one of those guys. Man, maybe I've got another picture of that engine that shows that.
I can see through your hat.
You can see through my hat again.
Yeah, it's fun. All right.
I'm doing well with this. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this. These pictures. Maybe that one shows it. Maybe.
They're all obsessed with my height.
Oh, here we go.
We'll
Here
do
we
this. Look how tiny I am.
See this? See the top on that? Does that look like a factory Packard part? It is not. That's Vern's craziness to make something look factory.
Oh, that does look factory.
Oh, with the factory Packard logo on it.
You know what though? The shiny metal tube.
It's a McCulloch.
It looks like a piece of dryer vent. It's completely wrong for that vintage of vehicle.
That dryer vent is a dryer vent, and he put it on there to make the shape so he could get a hose made for that. And he sent me a picture while that was going on. Yes, it's the same as it's like a what did you say? A Paxton, but I think it's McCulloch. McCulloch and Paxton, I think, were the same thing and just different names at different times in their history. William Albright, hello from West Virginia. Cool,
Welcome to the stream.
I'm lost here. I've got so much going on. Some point I'll get good at it. How many people do you have in yours? I don't know. I don't know how to look at yours.
That's like stuff. That's too many things. We're gonna not be able to do that.
There used to be a screen down below that showed me all that. Now it doesn't. It's weird to see comment on the screen we can't see. Yeah, sorry about that. We're trying to iron this out. Kim decided to try bringing people in on both channels, and she did that, but the comments don't show up. They only show up on one. So I don't know how we're going to do that in the future. Yeah. We'll probably do one channel one night, like Tuesday night we'll do mine, and another night we'll do hers. We both have things. Well, Wednesday night there's a live we watch. Thursday night we both have events that we attend. Friday, I don't know.
Friday John's on Friday.
Yeah, John's on Friday. We can't.
And Wednesday we watch Street. We have a lot of things that we kind of fill with our nights. So Tuesday we've left open to stream with you all, and that's what we're gonna do it the best way with what works best. So as far as doing this streaming to two things and having chat that everybody can't see, it's like no good. So after tonight, we're going to be on the Buff Del Campo channel exclusively. Other than, when we make videos, they'll go to my videos, will go to my channel, and his videos will go. And usually whoever's project it is, we put it on that channel. So it probably would be better to not split the channels. It would probably be better to have a combined channel, but there's reasons not to do it too. It's very difficult to decide.
This is really strange for us because I can see all the comments, but the viewers can't see all the comments. That's really different. That's just one of those things. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know all the things that could happen. So, yeah, there's the Packard. This guy, Vern, he's like a 50s, 40s, 50s, early 60s kind of car guy, and he is meticulous with stuff like you wouldn't believe. One of those guys that just got it all figured out, And we never knew each other in high school, but we went to high school, same time. But after that, he worked in a parts store, and I had my first radiator shop, and that's when he and I met up. And he had at the time he had a 65 Chrysler convertible, a Newport convertible. Might have been a New Yorker. Big, huge A-body Chrysler or a B-body. I'll get it out yet. C-body Chrysler with a 383 in it. And it was a convertible. And then he had his father was a Kaiser dealer. So he had Kaiser stuff around, Fraser's, one of those guys. Money may come up. History's Stone Supply. And
I saw that. I thank you for sending that out, Colleen. I think Dr. Art did it live on Monday, and he was using StreamYard and green screen. So we're bringing the bar up. Everybody's got to kind of step up their game so they can be like us. Barrows get just click the invite button and post a link into the chat. If you want people to join, they can click that link. It makes it a bit easier.
You know,
that way for me.
Maybe we could do that. Set yours up somehow so it clicks them into mine, or do one 2 nights a week or something. I don't know.
Well, as far as inviting people into the StreamYard, we're holding off on that for a few more minutes because we're just trying to get comfortable with. We moved everything around. So for us, it's been 6 weeks of we've been really refining it for 6 weeks, and now we've completely added StreamYard to the mix. It does make it a bit complicated, moves our chat all around and that type of thing. So we're just getting comfortable with where we're at, and then we will open the stream up to bring other people in and hopefully have some discussions. We're looking forward to being able to do it.
Click on Roy Bailey's comment.
Roy Bailey, okay. This one?
Phone has all comments. PlayStation only one channel. Now that's interesting. That's interesting. Why does that happen?
Maybe there.
And then there was another comment that went away, or did it? I don't know. Or maybe we have more. No, you know what? We don't have all the comments on that screen, and we have all the comments on this screen. Oh, this is crazy.
So this screen
is on StreamYard.
Is StreamYard. So it combines the comments, and that is the live chat from your stream, I believe. So we're not even seeing my, oh gosh.
Yours is not separate.
I'm starting to get ahead. This is too much. I spent all day tinkering with this, and then I realized that we had to move the one screen, and I'm talking like a 60-inch screen. I had it sitting on its side for chat. I realized it wasn't going to work, so we had to move it, and then I had to move all the lights because it was in the way. And okay,
you know, we did this a day late. This truly is an April Fool's show.
We're a mess, but we're happy to be here. And I was going to tell you about. I have a story. So when I was a kid, my dad grew up on a farm. And in one of the outbuildings, the garage near the house where my dad grew up, there were 2 cars. There was a 65 Pontiac Bonneville and a 53 Kaiser. How do you spell K? Is it
KAISER?
53 Kaiser Manhattan.
See, Vern had one of those. He had a 54. It looks almost like that.
And it looked a little.
He took me for one of the scariest rides I ever went on in my life.
It looked a little bit like that. So that is I remember as a kid, because it only had like 30,000 miles on it, that car, because my great uncle had bought it from some old lady, parked it in there, and then he died. So it just sat, and it had like 30,000 miles on it, and it had been sitting in there since this early 60s. So it was a time capsule. So we would sneak into that building, which was forbidden because it was collapsing with that car in it. And we would look at that amazing car.
See what Dizzy Izzy says.
Dizzy Izzy.
Get your phone to your router. That's what I do. What? We don't have anything going through a phone, do we? We have nothing going through a phone.
No.
Everything's going through laptops. Everything's going through laptops into a router. Is it? Well, I was 65 Pontiac. Yeah, 60. I had a 67 Catalina, big, like a giant fastback thing. Man, I loved that car. But I traded it. For a 67 Camaro RSSS. And the guy I traded to had a big family, and he wanted that big Catalina. So, I got a really good Camaro out of it. So if I had the choice between the 2 cars, I'd take the Camaro. But still, I like that big Pontiac. Really like that big Pontiac. Weren't Kaisers made in Stockton, California? I think I don't think they were. I think they were made up in, I don't know about Detroit, but up in that neck of the woods. I know they had a big warehouse or something near Stockton or in Stockton, because I know because Vern's told me about where all the parts came from. And they were losing their tail with that dealership. And they were trying to give the parts back and get paid for them. It was a big, big problem. Of course, that was about the time I was born. I was probably 2 years old when all that was going on. His father ended up being like the best parts man that ever was at the Chrysler dealer when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. His name was also Vern, and he knew Chrysler parts like, very well. Catalina wasn't huge, but my 67 Pontiac high top ambulance. Yeah, well, my big 2-door Pontiac Catalina was basically a 4-place car. It was kind of long. The trunk, I could have put the whole family in the trunk. It's an amazing car.
Dizzy Izzy is watching on a 42-inch Roku TV and typing on his phone. See, we get it done with
she could log into her phone, I suppose, and do that, but that would add one more. One more device.
This is a lot to absorb for one night. All this new stuff, and I thought I was prepared, but it was a little bit a lot.
It says here, used to find a lot of Kaiser Frazer stuff down in Utah, and the closer to California you got, the more of them you found. I don't think they were. I'm pretty sure they weren't made there. But I bet a lot of them were distributed there. I mean, California was, it's always been a big market for cars. And I know somewhere in Northern California, they had a big parts distribution place. Maybe they survived there and brought their 65 Pontiac. I'm reading there instead of there. I should be looking over here.
It's tough to know what to do here. This is hard work, this whole streaming thing. Believe the hype. It's hard work.
New cars never seem to have enough space when you're a family traveling. Full-size SUV is the way to go. SUVs, yeah, I guess today. When I was a kid, we had a 56 Ford station wagon until I was 11 years old. I remember the day my dad bought it. I was 2, almost 3. I remember him holding me up, and I saw the air cleaner, and the air cleaner looked like it was this big around. What's that? It's the air cleaner. Okay? So I always remembered that. But we had that 56 Ford wagon, and they put the seats down. They had a mattress back there, 3 kids back there just rolling around. If you stopped, kids kept going. Smash. Both parents would put their hand up like this so hit their arms instead of going over to the dashboard. Is that why they call it a dashboard? Dash into it. New cars, yeah. Yeah, I guess now the SUV. SUVs, I don't know. They're okay. I'm tired of them. I'm ready for something new. And not electric cars. I don't know what I'm. I like the smaller SUVs. What did I drive? I had one just a few years ago as a rental. What's this? It's a Hyundai. It was probably several years ago. It was a Hyundai. It was pretty nice.
What kind of
60s wagon? I don't remember. Some Hyundai thing. What's the SUV? I don't know. There's so many of them now. I probably get them all mixed up. Hyundai Santa Fe. I had a Hyundai Santa Fe for a while.
Santa Fe.
Probably been a while since
Santa Claus?
Yeah, not a Santa Claus. Hyundai Santa Claus? No. Hyundai Santa Fe. Yeah, Mexican spec was right. Santa Fe.
They make those new still.
Yeah, maybe they do. They probably getting bigger and bigger.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so
bigger. That's all we do here in America.
Another one I liked was the Nissan. What was the small Nissan? I think they still make it. I complain about it because the windows swoop up in the back. When you look back, visibility's terrible. You're likely to run over somebody. What's the smaller Nissan called? Small Nissan SUV. I had one in Pennsylvania in the winter, and it's snow and snow and snow and snow, and I got it because it was 4-wheel drive, and it was a perfect car for there. Like for older Pontiac wagon, ambulance or hearse from the 60s, early 70s. When I was younger, I used to think hearses and ambulances were pretty cool, but now they just seem huge. Yes, the Santa Cruz. Yeah, I don't know what the Santa Cruz. I've seen them. The one I had was the one I liked was the Santa Fe. Yeah, the old wagons. My dad had a 56 Ford wagon that he bought new. Then years later, my mother had a new, they traded it or sold it or something, and they bought a Chevy van, 1965 Chevy van, one of the ones that has an engine back here. Then my mother and father always shared a car, but it got so they couldn't share a car anymore. My father went out and bought a used 57 Ford wagon, 3-speed on the column, overdrive, 292, and he paid $200 for it. I remember that. That was a great car. Shop Cat Industries, hi Mexicans, Kim, Dougster, everyone else. Shop Cat Industries, how are you doing?
All right. Oh,
All right, what?
I'm losing my mind. I can't do this.
Why not?
I can't do this.
Calm down, take a deep breath. That's what you always tell me to do. Calm down, take a deep breath. Don't get so angry.
I'm not angry.
No, you're not angry. You're just like charged up.
This is stressful tonight. I'm so glad you're all here, but I feel like there's a lot of people in chat and it's like just flying by and I'm missing stuff. I can't keep up. So I'm sorry. We love to talk to everybody and I feel like I'm not being able to keep up tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot going by, isn't there? That's okay. It's fun having people in here.
Please forgive us tonight if we're not as responsive as we normally would be. This is new.
I'm trying to think of what other wagons that I really liked. Man, 59 Pontiac wagon.
5 people's a lot. Sorry.
It's 5 people. Oh, 5 people probably in your channel. And then there's 17 in my channel, and they're combined on this screen.
Yeah,
so yeah,
and it's there and not there, and I'm used to it being everywhere equally.
Yeah, we've moved everything around. So people that came in there later, we're streaming off.
And I'm having hot flashes.
We're streaming 2 channels combined into one on our screen. So yeah, it's you see 16, yeah, and I see 17. So you're probably seeing the same one I do.
All right. I want to do a thing, and I don't want to crash the stream.
Oh, don't crap. 65 Bonneville wagon is so sexy, is what Dougster says. You know, my favorite of those is the 67.
Want me to risk it.
I don't know why the 67. I just love the front end on it. I just like that weird front end on a 67 Pontiac, full size Pontiac. 2-door Nova wagon. 66 and 67. Yeah, that was a good looking car.
Pontiac what? Le Mans?
What?
67.
Oh, 67. Just look up. No, 67 Pontiac. Look up either Bonneville or Bonneville's right there. Isn't it? Yeah, see the nose on that? I really like that. And mine was white. It was just like that, but it was white. I like that front end. It's the same body. It's the same body as a 65. Just 65 had a different nose on it.
I don't like that front end at all. It looks weird.
I love that weirdness.
No, that's weird.
Okay, and then look up the one he likes, which is a 65. And then you can look up the 66 to see if 66
I think
is
I'm
even
going to like
different.
the 65 better.
A lot of people probably do.
Yeah, I like these.
See,
lights.
it's the same body, the same top and everything, but 65, the range of lights is different.
Yep, I prefer.
You prefer the and I prefer the 67. I think 67 is just that weirdness I just love it.
That's fair.
Now 66, I was at a car show in Tucson with my friend Carl, and there was a 66. White one looked just like mine, except it was 66, so it had a different nose on it. 71 Town and Country. Oh, I'll tell you another one I like. C-body Chrysler is a 72 Dodge Polara wagon, and that's another weird front end. You probably won't like that. Look up 72 Dodge Polara. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's a wagon, same front end.
Nah, I don't have a cursor.
Don't have a cursor. Cursor died. That came back.
Yeah.
1972.
Read some comments.
Read some comments.
What am I
only
looking
see
for?
one
Polara?
comment. Yeah, 72 Polara. And then we'll look up 71 Town and Country. Yeah, see, it's a bumper. the headlights are really low because they're in a bumper. I think that looks cool. But that's me. See what 71 Town and Country looks like, which is going to be a Chrysler. And then comments are going, but I'm still reading the same comment, of course. I'm trying to read them, but they're so small. I got to lean forward and squint. What is that one? Mexican spec loans is something. Yeah, there's that one. And then the Town and Country. That's a 71 Town and Country. Oh, yeah. Man, that's like an aircraft carrier. It's big. Oh, it looks good in yellow. I like that. I don't really like the base kind of colors with the wood down the side, but I sure like the well, that says Town and Country, but it was an Oldsmobile.
That's an interesting lower.
Yeah, somebody painted it bright yellow and put wheels on it.
Because I remember them being like this, not like this.
Well, see, that's the Oldsmobile, whatever they call that, Vista Cruiser.
Oh, okay.
The 72 front. Yeah, 72 Polara front end is wild. Yeah, I like that. But you can't do that today. They can't do that with a new car today because there's the height requirements, and they won't, federal law in the U.S. won't allow them to do that. They have to be up higher. Dodges with the covered head. See, a lot of people, the ones with the covered headlights were the Monacos, and the ones with the uncovered headlights were the Polaras. And I preferred the Polara on 1 year on the 72. The rest of them I preferred the Monaco. There's something about those headlights being down in the bumper that I think just looks great. It's just so different, you know. I rented a Cavalier with my 70 Pontiac. That big steel beat didn't even flinch. That would have been like a knife blade.
Ghostbusters. Who are you gonna call?
Oh man, you can almost stand up in that thing.
Where's a 67? Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong.
Oh yeah, that's a 67. That's that nose that I like. God, can you imagine that? Oh yeah, 67 Pontiac ambulance. There you go. Man, look at that. It's got 4 lights in the top, 4 red lights up in the top, facing forward. I don't know what's going on because you quit picking them.
I'm just with that.
I know you're overwhelmed over there. What'd you put it?
That red one is a 70.
Not that red one. That red one's a 67. That's a 67. I know the front end. I had a 67. The 70, there was a 70 in here that has a big beak.
He might have been talking about the one I had because at first I
the Chryslers. Oh, could be. I don't know. I'm pretty much mixed up at this point because we're looking at Chryslers and we're looking at Pontiacs. I think a 70 Pontiac's a good looking car. 70, like a 70 Bonneville. There was one at a time. It was illegal to put door keys. At one time, it's illegal to put door keys on the driver's side of a vehicle because the streets were so narrow. Oh, they didn't want you going out there and turning the key out in the street. I remember the old cars had a door on the passenger side, but like some Model Ts, they had a door on the passenger side, but not on the driver's side. Well, and the driver might even been on the right side. It was on the right side. Corner car from the corner car from the show Quincy. Yeah, I'm pretty much mixed up with what we're doing here.
All right, so I vote that.
Actually, that felt good because my shoulders hurt.
I vote that we see if we can bring in a live participant, or maybe 2, which sounds chaotic. So,
does anybody have a camera?
So let's do it. And what's going to happen is once we are done with that,
I have to put this on.
You don't have to put it on, but you might not hear very well
because this is
live participants.
This is plugged into the air.
Participations.
Oh, we got all this fancy stuff.
Equipment. Now we're gonna look at this. We have the thing with the soundboard.
The thing with
wonderful.
The stuff. In the things.
We don't normally have any.
What are we doing?
I don't know, but once we do this live thing, we're not going to be able to follow chat as well while we're live with guests. I'm going to put up the whole invite link.
Okay.
Okay. And then we are going to
What happens? Oh, it's over here. I don't know where anything is. But you look right
there's
at
our
home with the pot. Oh, yeah. See, this feels normal to me because I'd be sitting here like this or like this. Probably normally with a stick and a throttle over here. But yeah, for sitting in here, it's a little strange.
Okay, and so what's going to happen is when we're done doing this part, we're going to shut my channel off because this is overwhelming.
Well, then anybody that's in your channel is going to have to go over to. Oh, Dougster. Right there.
See if we can bring you in, Dougster. Are you ready to come to the stage?
See what happens.
Have no fear, the Dougster's here. Buff, Kim.
Is he coming through the TV?
He's coming through the TV. He's not coming through my headset.
I'm
I don't
coming
like
through
that.
the
I can
TV.
unplug the stupid headset.
But
The calls are coming from inside the house.
Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah, I just hear you. I don't need this stupid thing.
we might need it because otherwise he might be coming picking up the mic. If they get really bad feedback, we're gonna have to.
Hey,
change it.
this is pretty good, Kim. It works.
Something happens. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming on the stream.
Hey,
So
no
what
problem.
are you doing today? What are you working on?
Well, today I was been working on getting my heads cleaned for reassembly. I ported and polished my 440 source aluminum heads for my 413 Chrysler, and I just lapped the valves. Now I'm going to clean everything and reassemble.
Nice. That's hard work.
That was a lot of work. My hands hurt for quite a bit after I was done.
Yeah.
Can everybody hear Dougster? I'm gonna look to see. Somebody I see here.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing,
Okay,
testing.
okay. What's that?
I said,
said
testing. Or is it testes, 1, 2,
Oh,
Well, let's hope not.
3?
what just popped up? I'm looking. I see different stuff on this screen than that screen. That's crazy. Though my laptop has quite a delay, so I see stuff that already happened. It's like this is history over here.
You know what?
That's real. That's right now.
You know what I could do? I could.
It's okay. Just leave it. I just don't look over there much.
All right. No looking. All right. So
Bruce
wait,
says it works.
you got aluminum cylinder heads. Who did you purchase aluminum cylinder heads from?
Believe it or not, Facebook Marketplace. I ended up through Facebook Marketplace linking up with a big block Chrysler guy out of Elkhart, Indiana, which is like an hour away from where I live. And he is just the most genuine, nicest. He preaches the word of God, but he's a major gearhead. His cars all say "faster for the master" and have a cross on them.
And why would he get rid of those heads?
Because he cannot sit still. He's got to upgrade. He was trying to build a max wedge port of Stroker 515 cubic inch Stroker, and he just got the cheap Chinesium 440 source heads because that's what he could get his hands on. So he sold them to me. I bought those PRD roller rockers, 3/8 push rods, deep sump oil pan from them for cheap.
That's great. Like that's really great. Now that's the spirit of hot rodding when you help somebody out.
Man, sweet. Tell Iceman, I live by Martin Dragway. This time of year when they start testing and tuning and no leaves on the trees, I can hear them light up the cars.
Nice.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I used to live real close to a drag strip in Ohio, and we could hear the cars running from my shop. And I took my young son then, he was 4, maybe 5 years old, and they had a truck over there with it's a jet truck racing an airplane or something. So we went over there, and he was so sick of that. All he wanted to do was leave, but he wanted to see that truck. So we held in there, and he got to see all the fire coming out the stacks and all. He loved it. The guy made the run, popped his chute partway down. Chute just exploded into fire. So the guy had no chute. So he went way down, stopped, but it was an exciting run seeing the parachute on fire. So that guy was that strip was close enough I could hear it all. It's pretty good.
They used to have a lot of concerts at the racetrack, and instead of dealing with all the traffic and all the people, and parking was atrocious there for a big venue like that, that what we would do is we wouldn't even go to the show. We'd go fishing for the day at the lake and behind. And we get to catch fish all day, and you got a rock concert happening. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's
the roar of the crowd. You feel it all. You just can't see it, but hey, works for us.
I mean, usually even when you're there, you're so far away that they're just little, the size of ants anyways. So
right. And other times of the year, you're fishing at night, and all you hear is "Coming to the line, Bob Dylan."
Oh yeah.
I could have worse things to listen to.
I haven't followed your channel. What's this engine going in?
This is going in my 92 D150 two-wheel drive short box pickup. I'm big block swapping it, and it's called Shop Truck because when I'm done, my paint scheme is going to look like I got it from Petty Enterprises and turned their shop truck into my hot rod.
That's great. I
was looking to see what the warning was that came up.
I've had several D150s in my automotive career. They're good trucks. I like them. Actually, right now we have the big blue one is a 92.
Were you here last week on
it's a W150, and we're
four-wheel drive.
Yeah, but we're parting it.
Ari's here.
Hi, Ari.
Cool.
Don't distract us too much, Ari. We're really trying to stay
Ari,
focused.
we're trying something new. And I'm not sure we're going to try it again. We're on Kim's channel and my channel at the same time.
What did I do?
So we can bring guests in on both channels at the same time. This and the screens are in different places, and I'm trying to figure out where everything is.
Yeah, it's a lot, but so that's fantastic. You're building a shop truck with a 440, and it's got aluminum heads. For what?
413.
Okay, is
that it's the same engine family as a 440. It's just 20-something cubic inch less.
413 was early 60s. 440 was late 60s and on.
This one's out of a 71 Craftco motorhome.
It was out of a motorhome.
Yep, I ripped apart the motorhome to get it.
Oh, well, that's how you get them.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't really put 440s or the big blocks in much after the 70s, did they?
Yeah, I think they finally stopped big blocks in, I want to say 79. It was big, then it was small block only from there on out.
Even in motorhomes?
You imagine that big old motorhome.
Oh, motorhomes is totally different. I was talking about pickup trucks.
Oh,
yeah, right.
Motorhomes, you can still get 440s almost up to the end of 440 production.
Nice. You see them around. I know where there's a motorhome up over the street, but we have so many projects.
Don't bring a motorhome onto the property right now.
Yes.
Too much there.
Yeah.
So many projects.
Actually, if you found a deal on something, bring it in. But just
the really sad thing is other than the interior on this thing was roached, it had a fire in it, and that's the whole reason why I got it. It was a 71
fire damage for the win. We have like three vehicles on the property that have fire damage.
She has
scavenging.
She has a crossfire. She calls it the lost fire because it's burned up. But she pulled the rear end out of it. The whole rear suspension. It's on her channel. Some of it's on my channel. But we narrowed that whole independent rear suspension, which is a lot of geometry and work to get it right. But it's set up now to go underneath her 66 Dart, and it'll go under there with the and the wheels will be inside the wheel wells. They won't be sticking out. So it'll be a 66
Dart. It's going to have an independent rear in it?
It'd be a 66 Dart with independent suspension. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. We're going to mini tub it.
I like it.
It fit those tires because the tires are 8 to 10 inches wide.
And a nice big hefty sway bar too.
You know, it's not huge, but I'm telling her, yeah, use that sway bar.
Well,
But
it never
but
had
you know,
one in the first place, so
No,
anything
man.
will be a big upgrade.
oh,
Right.
art. Yeah, but I mean the sway bar from the Crossfire is too wide, so we're gonna have to
Yeah, we'll have to
shorten that
source a
somehow.
sway bar
I know
somewhere.
I know a guy that he used to shorten sway bars, and he goes, "Oh, it's no big deal." And he just take right in the middle and taper it down to a point, and then like just like this with a TIG. And he goes, just make sure the tensile strength of the uh, of the rod is higher than the sway bar. But then I'm thinking, man, one is spring steel and the other one isn't. But you know, none of his ever broke. So, in fact, I was trying to find him. I know his name. I know where he lives. You know, he's probably 2 years older than me.
Well,
So
usually the weld metal that you're laying down is more pure than the actual metal that you're fusing together.
even on spring steel like that, I don't know.
Spring steel is some
It's
awesome
kind of scary
stuff.
to me. Man, I'd hate to be rolling through a corner and have that sway bar go, that would break. But
And there's solid ones and there's hollow ones.
oh,
I've yet
Well,
to
you
see a
know,
hollow one.
and there's a company
Not
called
that I've seen a lot of sway bars, but
called Adco that makes aftermarket sway bar kits.
Mhm.
I'll have to look to see if that wouldn't work anyway because we narrowed it. I don't know. We'll figure out something. We'll find something.
Well, if you got that right capable person that knows how to do it, for sure. Would I attempt it at home? Mm.
I got a TIG machine, but I haven't TIGged like in probably 10 years. I'm not as steady as I used to be. That's an understatement. My right hand, I'm steady. My left hand, there's good days and bad days. You know, in TIG, I'm going to use both hands, and I'm going to have trouble if I'm having a bad day. If I rest my wrist, I'm okay, but doing a weld like that, you know, one of these progressive things from the center out,
Mhm.
yeah, I really should find somebody who knows what they're doing, or just have something made. I mean, you know.
I never mastered TIG aluminum. I just melted every time. I never mastered it. But I can TIG weld steel just fine because it's just like gas welding to me.
Yep, I learned in junior high school with gas welding, and when I went to TIG, it was like, oh, this is easy.
This is
The only
there's a
thing
lot of the same principles apply.
the only thing that wasn't with TIG back then is that I had to keep flipping the hood up and down because they didn't have the self-darkening hoods. But now I've got a hood that's a Harbor Freight, but it started misbehaving, and I bought a really high quality lens for it. It's a little darker and it's self-darkening, and man, do I like that thing. And in fact, I'm about to buy another one. I think one that's just one shade darker because even this one, maybe my eyes because they're getting older. I'm not sure.
My friend took my welding helmet and because I left it over at his shop because I didn't have a welder at mine. And I one day come over and go to grab my helmet, and there's one of those headlights taped to the bottom of my helmet. I said, "What's that for?" He goes, "I upgraded your helmet for you. You're going to like this." He goes, "You know how okay, that's where I got a weld. You put your helmet down, and then you go, where the hell was that again?"
Back in the day,
light shines a light up where you look at. It's like, how come I didn't think of that? Thanks, dude.
nice. In terms of TIG, I'd like to. So you know how I have that 360 that I just pulled out of that big Dodge truck,
Did you see that video?
and it's
Not yet, but I will.
Well, watch her video of that
It's-
360 coming
so
out.
it's a Magnum engine, so it has
Right.
that big keg intake. And I want to put a carburetor on it and switch it out to like a standard ignition system instead of the computerized stuff, just for because it's going in a 66 Dart. So I wasn't sure if I could can I lop that keg off and TIG weld like a 4-barrel.
That intake manifold is really weird. There's a whole bunch of people that modify the living bejesus out of the kegger intake. And if you take the keg intake off and turn it upside down, on the inside of it, there's a steel plate and a ring of bolts. And it's kind of shaped like the state of Tennessee. And you pull that plate off, and you're actually looking down inside the intake itself, there's a wall that runs north and south in it. And then the intake tubes are what the camel hump that you see, the intake tubes run up and around and they pick up on the other side. So what fuel it's picking, what air fuel come down beyond the wall and gets sucked up and crosses over. So what's picked up on the right is delivered to the left side of the engine and vice versa. And then what guys do is you shorten the runner length up to tune it. And so basically, if you cut it at the right spot, there isn't anything there. So except that wall. So if you could TIG weld a plate onto it, you could maybe put a carb on it.
I'm thinking about
But
it.
you would
'Cause
just
any
have
other-
an open plenum. There'd be no runner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could, if you've got the TIG welder, you could make any kind of runners that you want.
That's
Yeah.
true.
She's gonna want me to make an intake manifold.
Who, me? I would never. Well, I think that probably someone like Summit, do they have one at this point now that goes from
Oh,
a
yeah.
4-barrel carb
Yeah.
to a Magnum?
I think you can get, I know they make an intake that bolts right up to the Magnum style head, I'm sure.
I might just, fork up the dough. We're not big
Well-
on buying stuff because we're cheapskates, but
Well, that's where
some things are
marketplace
just
is
too fun to
beautiful.
miss.
And
What,
go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I was just curious. Tell us more about your 413.
Yep, 413.
Tell us more about your 413 because
It is low compression. It's like 8-to-1 dish pistons, 97,000 miles on it. And the oil was clean when I checked it for the first time when we pulled it out of the tree line. All the BS had fall to the bottom, but the oil was
Yes.
golden clean.
Filtered itself out.
Right. And it wasn't the oil was I think it was put away with a fresh oil change. That's
a lot
how
of people do that. They do their maintenance. They only take it out a couple times a year, so they just do their annual maintenance, and it's an oil change. That's more than enough for most things.
when we lit it up, I pulled the valve covers off just to see the inside, what I was dealing with. It was spectacularly clean. No
Nice.
gut, no gack, no gunk, no rust, nothing. Clean. Beautiful. We lit it up and had 60 pounds of oil pressure, ran great. Like it was turned off yesterday.
Great.
And I knew of it 20 years before I owned it.
Oh, so you've known that.
I've known of it, yeah. And it was always, finally was able to get my green little paws on it. But it was fire damaged back then. I knew it always as I had it. But it was too bad because if the body wasn't fire damaged, that would have been cool to just keep going. It was a cool unit. It was
Can't
shaped
save them
well.
all.
Right, you can't save them all. Right. What a monumental task that was to tear apart that stupid thing. When I was all done, stripped it to its bare chassis, I bobbed it in behind the transmission mount, and I used the tow bar that we brought it to my friend's place to tear it apart. I towed it like a trailer home on its front axle, chain straight. It was the sketchiest trailer ever.
That
And
does.
it was my run stand.
Perfect.
You made something good out of it.
Yes. Sits in my garage right now. I'm going to be taking it to scrap here real soon.
Mexican Spec was asking if Ari wanted to come in, bring Ari in, and I was thinking about asking if he wants to come in.
Well,
Can Ari
anybody
come
who,
out and play?
What's that?
Can Ari come out and play?
Well, I
Ari,
would
come
see. I was on Ari's live. I don't know.
Okay.
You watched Uncle Tony?
Yes. I watch
Yeah, and
Uncle
then
Tony.
after Uncle Tony, there's the After
Oh, yeah.
the Uncle Tony show, which is Ari. You know. So
And you
he
guys were
wasn't-
filling in for a while, which was great.
yeah, why not? You know, and he said that was his family night, and then last Sunday he came back. So
which was kind of
Right.
a relief because we've been pushing ourselves. Doing 2 lives a week is actually a lot of work. You don't get anything done because spend all
Right.
that time doing this. Get ready for it.
and Andrab just said that her father died. So
I'm very sorry for your
Oh,
sorry.
I'm
loss.
sorry.
I'm glad you came in to stop by and just, be with friends.
That stinks.
So I don't know if there's a delay here, if he'll pop up or not. I'm starting to get used to how.
Now,
I'm
do
starting
you
to
want
learn
to
how
try
this
to
works.
go 3 wide racing? Would you like me to step out so Ari can step in? I'm
If
game for whatever.
if he steps in, we'll probably do one at a time, I think.
Okay.
But otherwise,
We could do this.
you knocked
we
him
could
down there
do
smaller.
this.
I like it when we all look like we're sitting on the same bench together. That's kind of
We
cool.
could do
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
this. There's a lot of different
Oh,
things.
you
This is all very new. Oh, you know what? That kind of works because there's 3 of us.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I like. It
Right.
looks like
Kim
there's
was
3
going
of
to
us
cut
sitting on a
off a
bench
little bit
together.
ago. Besides, this has
So
a
I don't know
fitting
what
in.
Ari's doing. Ari may not. I don't know what he's doing.
Well, if he does, let me know. I'll step out.
Well,
What's
he's
that?
not in the. He hasn't logged in.
Ah, right.
No pressure to people.
Yeah, and
It's
anybody
really
else,
busy tonight.
I don't want to just do this invitation only. Everybody's invited. If you got a camera and you want to come in, hit that link, and I'm looking to see what time it is.
When everyone's invited.
Can you believe we've been here an hour already, over an hour already?
Yes.
It goes
Yes.
so quickly.
Usually I can't tell, the time just flies, but tonight has been stressful. This is hard because I'm responsible to make sure this doesn't all come crashing down.
Ari, I couldn't replace the Dougster. So I guess Ari's not coming in. And Mexican Spec says he has no camera, but when he comes in, he just comes in with a green screen and nobody there. He must
Yep.
have something green on because he just disappeared.
Yep.
Have you seen him come into Tony's live?
Oh, yeah.
He's just green. Just not
He's
there.
like, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Right. Easier to talk than type.
Ooh.
Yeah, he says,
Yeah.
yes, I'm a green screen blob. Well, you know what was funny is there's a hat that I wear. It's camo and it's got an Air Force logo on it. And
Yep.
if I sit here with the green screen, it's like the top of my head's gone. It's like there's just kind of a shadow moving around. What are you doing? Oh, you're moving it so I look over there. I look like I'm looking at the screen. Kim got up and starts moving stuff around while I'm.
Hey, Kim, in that setup, though, there you go. There you go. A little more.
Oh, you almost had it. You're going to
be
I
cut
don't
off
know. When you sit
like
down,
that.
you'll see. When you
You're
sit
gonna be
down,
half
So,
cut
so
off.
the thing was where the camera was sitting, right? When we're talking to you,
Oh, we're good.
we're actually looking over here. So I don't know if
yeah,
that.
my eyeballs are not pointed exactly the right direction because the
Would this
camera's
work
off
better?
center.
Okay, there. Yeah.
So
Yeah, right.
So-
We're looking,
if
now we know what we were looking at this whole time.
you were to
You're
put
like,
the camera,
why are they looking in my living room?
Oh, I got a little cough. No. You know what it is? There's a prescription I take for blood pressure. It's called lisinopril. One of the side effects of lisinopril, it makes your throat a little dry. And sometimes it does that more than other times. And today it seems to be doing it more. But I got some little cough drops that are non-sugar that diabetic can take. And that solves the problem.
Yay.
Are you diabetic?
No, I am not a diabetic, but I know I'm sugar sensitive because of ADD as a child. So I've had everything non-sugar my entire life.
Well,
Yes.
okay, so because when you said that, you sounded like maybe you understood that.
Well, I
And,
do. I do try to watch my sugar. I'm not exactly the pinnacle of health.
Mexican Spec says, my blood pressure medication has no side effects. Why does yours? I take lisinopril, and some people, my brother takes lisinopril, and he has a serious dry throat to the point where they're going to try other medications. Some people have no, what did you do?
Sorry. Keep
She
talking.
just covered up the screen with something else.
Keep talking.
What are you doing? Now you lost my whole train of thought.
It'll be okay, buff man.
Well, she put a whole menu over the top of you and me and her. So
I'm on the menu.
so
See, this is the stress.
So
if I
the-
do it wrong, he can't talk.
well, yeah, of course not. Now I'm reading a menu.
You know, how else are you supposed to figure out how stuff works?
What happens with lisinopril is some people take it, never have a side effect, and I've been on it for probably 10 years at least, probably more than that. And the older I get, the more I start noticing this little dry throat a little bit. And my doctor's saying, if it bothers you too much, we'll start trying some other medication. I'm like, nah, I'd rather put up with it because I know the medication works. And I know my blood pressure's in really, really good. So I'll put up with it. It's not that bad.
I have sleep apnea, so I have to actually wear a mask when I sleep. And my blood pressure and stress level were through the roof before I got on my sleep therapy. And my doctor promised me that my blood pressure would go down immensely. And it did. After I was for a while on sleep therapy, I slept better. It was amazing. And on my next checkup, my doctor seen what my blood pressure numbers were. He literally danced a jig around his office. He was so happy.
Very nice. I'm glad to hear, because that stuff affects, our long-term quality of life.
Oh yeah.
I see some scrolling by here. Mexican Spec says mine is something. Tell Miss Sartin. Where is it?
Okay. I was in the middle of talking.
I'm sorry, but they're scrolling by.
I have central sleep apnea, and
Okay.
I used one of those CPAP machines for about 3 years, and then I had spinal surgery. And after the spinal surgery, I just couldn't wear it anymore. And then I don't have the machine anymore. There's some nights but I used to, before I had the spinal surgery, which was probably had something to do with the sleep apnea. I wake up gasping for breath.
Yes.
That's scary stuff. So I'm glad that you're getting treatment, and I'm really glad to hear that it's helping with your other conditions. That's fantastic.
I can't sleep without it now. So, but yeah, great.
I wanted to say something about Mexican Spec statement here. I'm going to try to remember that, and I may ask you again. What's that?
For whatever reason, I see that medication name, and all I can think of is Dean Martini. That's all I can think of is Dean Martin.
We had this one up here was Menudo is my medication, and then someone said
the right Menudo with some fresh jalapenos diced up in it. It's tasty stuff.
Yeah, that's medication.
So Mexican Spec, something I just thought of when you said that. I was living down in Arizona, right on the Mexican border. And so I was going to Mexico to get all my medication, and I got Lisinopril from Mexico for years. And I just thought about it. This dry throat stuff started when I started getting my medication here. So the stuff from Mexico was effective. It was working, keep my blood pressure down. The stuff from the US works the same, but now I got the dry throat. And I wonder if it's age or if there's something different about it. Wow, I just thought about that.
I watched about 15 years ago. I watched an exclusive on 60 Minutes, and Barbara Walters said that Mexican medications are not real. They're actually cyanide and old road paint and
Who said that?
Some other things crushed into pill form, and they sell them to stupid Americans who come across the border to buy medication.
You look at
So it's true because Barbara Walters says so.
You look at the pharmaceutical companies. I know there's trouble in Mexico that's different than the trouble here, but you look at what I did is I look at the demographics for Mexico. Mexican citizens, men, have a life expectancy that's almost the same as in the US. It's real close. It's about a year less. So, they have other things that we don't have, like no OSHA. They don't have the safety requirements in factories and all these other things. So I attribute some of it to that.
To deal with.
But their medications can't be that bad if their life expectancy is basically the same. So I just, he says it's fentanyl. Yeah, because maybe it's because
they used up all the road paint and cyanide.
The cartels got involved. I don't know, but anyway, I just never worried about the Mexican medication. I was buying that for 10 or 12 years when I was living on the border. I'd go to Mexico. This place right here, Algodones. That's where my hat's from.
This is
Nice
not medical advice.
Nice little border town.
Talk to your doctor about Menudo.
Nice little border town. If you like border towns, a lot of Americans there, a lot of Canadians there. Just a fun place, and I always felt comfortable there. But anyway, one of these days, I keep telling Mexican Spec this. One of these days, I'm gonna go down in Mexico where he is, but I want to have a wad of cash with me, so I can buy one of those cars.
Yeah, he wants to buy every car Mexican Spec posts.
Do you do Instagram at all? Somebody walked by.
That was Lady Dougster.
Lady Dougster.
Nice.
Do you do Instagram?
No, I do not.
Well, okay.
This is about the closest thing I do to anything social media, and that's my dog.
Hi, puppy.
Find Instagram.
The dog is chasing the cat.
Get an Instagram account.
Just so you can see Mexican Spec.
Find Mexican Spec. Follow him. Just so you have it there. And you'll see used cars that are in such good condition because they're down there in good old dry Mexico.
I know.
The prices are pretty good.
He was talking about a 56 or a 57 Dodge wagon or Plymouth wagon that's out there that, yeah, I wish I could come down, visit him, shake his hand, and bring that peach home with me.
I really like Fox body Fords. I had a Mustang, but mostly I had Fairmonts and a few Futuras and stuff. He has those. He always has those things posted, and they're dry and rust free, and
they're all there.
Oh man! And then the other thing is he has the. I bought a 1974 Matador, AMC Matador. You know the ones with
ugly car,
round headlights out front. Well, I like those. He's got a couple of those on there. He's got one on there right now. It's like, man, I want that car, but I don't have money to do that right now.
You don't.
No, we got other projects we need to do.
We need to make a garage.
I get little bits of money and
1970 what?
What?
AMC Matador.
1974. Well, if we can find Mexican Specs, you could put it right up there. I don't know if he has that posted on anything but Instagram. Yeah, see the red one? Red one looks just like mine. Red one off the left.
This one's awesome, though. We would call it the Ratador.
Patina on that is awesome.
See that red one? Mine was just like that. And but I ordered it new in 74. I was 20 years old in the Air Force. Yeah, young Air Force guy, Airman 2-striper. And that was right at the beginning of the first gasoline problem. So I ordered with a 6-cylinder, a 258 6-cylinder, and an automatic. And I really liked that car, but there was a friend of mine on base that ordered one. His was bright yellow, and he got the 360. That one, mine
AMC
with the
360
cylinder. What's that?
AMC 360.
AMC 360. Although they both had torque lights.
Mm-hmm.
So mine got 15 miles a gallon. His got 16 miles a gallon. He had the 360. When I heard that, I went, what an idiot I was. I should have just ordered the 401 and the 4-speed. But I didn't. No. I was trying to save gas, and it didn't work.
Never save gas.
The BMW motorcycles, the little twins, the larger the displacement, the better fuel mileage they get because they don't have to work as hard to do the same job. So the 1100 will get better mileage than a 750.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Would it be heavier?
Not working hard.
That's working hard. You don't have to strangulate that one to get your speed out of it. It's just like, whatever. So that actually makes it more fuel efficient because it doesn't have to work as hard.
Ari says, I don't think I'd want to go to, I don't know how to pronounce that right. Sinaloa. Is that how you pronounce that? I'm going to pronounce it Mexican Spec. Sinaloa. Is that how you pronounce that? Don't know. See, I'd go down there on a bus that has a bunch of Americans in it. You know, a Mexican, high quality bus like he says take. I'd be there with Mexican Spec. He's he understands the area. He's citizen there. He gets it, you know, and nothing's going to happen. It's like when I went to Russia, I hung around with Russians that I trusted, that I knew. So it was fine. And there was,
Right.
at the time I was in Russia, there was, well, probably not as bad as it is now. There was a terrible mafia problem in Russia. I wouldn't have gone there by myself, just bumbling around like a
Yep.
babe in the woods, man. I wouldn't know what I was doing. But hanging around with a couple of Russians that I knew, that was fine. They kept
And
me
the
out of
amount of vodka that the Russians drink is amazing.
Oh, I was sitting, it's my former wife and I, she's Russian. We were sitting in a train station, and there's big round tables so that you could put like 4 or 5 people around in this area where we were waiting, and they had some TV sets up, and it was like looked like a sports bar, except it was news. They had news on different stations. So we're sitting there, and we each had a soft drink. We're drinking a soft drink. And this guy comes over and he sits down. He's got a clear bottle. It looks like water. He sits down. He's drinking it. It's empty. And he gets up and he walks off. And I'm sitting there. I'm thinking, is he going to bring back another bottle? I'm waiting. And then finally he doesn't come back. So I reach over, I turn the bottle around to see what it was. It was 40%, which is 80 proof, 40% vodka.
Yep.
It was a liter. He drank a liter of vodka,
Yeah.
like a beer.
Yes.
When we got on the train about 20, 30 minutes later, he got on the train with us, and he was
Yeah.
walking straight.
Yeah.
He wasn't stumbling. If I drank a liter of vodka, I'd be in the hospital getting my stomach pumped. You know?
So I worked with a Russian guy in auto parts years ago. We supplied General Motors and Chrysler. And I worked with a Russian guy. He came to a card party. He brought himself a 6-pack of vodka, 6-pack of fifths. And he smoked 100 Marlboro 100s, and he smoked them non-filter. He'd break the filters off after he lit them. And he would play cards, tell us stories about his childhood in Russia, and he'd drink a quarter of a fifth at a time. He'd drink a quarter of it, set it down, talk, play cards, goof around, and then later he'd go after it. 4 long drinks, a fifth is done. And he'd throw the bottle away, grab a fresh one, set it on the table. Repeat process. I watched him drink 3.5 fifths of vodka before I left.
And he was sense.
Wow.
Yeah. And he wasn't drunk and he wasn't sober. I'd be dead.
When I was in Russia, it was after the breakup of the Soviet Union. It wasn't too long after that. That's how people drank. But the life expectancy of a Russian male was like 56, 57 years old, something like that.
Right.
I go, there's why. Well,
Right. Well, there's nothing to do.
Besides the drunkenness, no safety at all in factories
None.
or workplaces.
None.
My former wife, who was dead set against drinking, she was like, no alcohol, shouldn't be drinking. She'd get upset if I drink a beer or something because she'd think I was going to be an alcoholic. But
I dealt with it her entire life.
so, yeah, a lot of people in her, people knew she knew drinking a lot. But she was, I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. I don't remember. I got off course here.
Happens to me all the time.
I
Yeah,
distracted him by getting up.
I know what it was. The same thing. Accidents in factories and no safety. I
None.
remember when I got there, she goes, I have a friend that has a car because almost nobody had cars, and this guy that she knew, they came and picked me up at the airport, and it was an old beat up BMW that had come from West Germany, and they cut the seat belts off. They just cut them off, like no seat belts. What are you
So
guys
it's like
crazy?
1974 all over again.
So I got when I left Russia, I got in a little Russian van and we went out to the airport. Had to pay that as like a taxi service out to the airport. And I'm going out there and there was a seatbelt. They cut it off and the door on the side swing all around and hit the side of the van. So they'd taken the seatbelt, they tied it to something so the door wouldn't fling all the way up. So they were using the seatbelt for something.
Right.
But other than that,
I mean,
I didn't see
where
the
to be
seatbelt. I didn't see any seatbelts in Russia that were being used for seatbelts. When she got to the U.S., we got in the car and I'm explaining how to use a seatbelt. She's like, "No," I said, "Yeah, no, it's required. You have to. You get, the police will stop you if you don't wear a seatbelt." Well, she got used to it, and
Right.
then it became, okay, yeah, you're supposed to do that.
Right.
And she was good with it. But man, Russia, that was what an experience that place was. And I'm really happy I'm not. The best part about being in Russia? I had a blue passport. I had a American passport, and I could leave. And she had a red passport with a hammer and sickle on it. And that was after the breakup. And Russia didn't care if you left, but nobody wanted Russians. They were all trying to leave, So,
right.
But I know how to get immigrants in legally. It's not that hard. So it can be done.
Right.
It can be done. The hardest thing to do in Russia is to get home sober. I had I think one drink while I was there. It was a big dinner. Had this big table at somebody's house, and they had all this food, probably more food than they can afford. And they had it because I was there. It's like, oh man, this American came to visit, and it was really cool. But they had a bottle of champagne, so of course we all drank, one little sip of champagne. So that was the limit of my drinking while I was there. The guy that picked us up in the BMW, he wanted to go out drinking with me, and I'm like, hey, let's go out with this guy. I want to go out drinking with a Russian. She goes, no, you're not going out. Years later, I'm asking her, why wouldn't you let me go out with that guy? She goes, all he wanted was your passport number. He sets up businesses, and he doesn't want to be associated with them, so he finds stupid American foreigners and everything use their passport number, set up businesses, so they, there's no traceability for taxation or anything else. She goes, he's just using you. He's going to get you drunk and get your passport number. I go, huh. So she was taking care of me. It's like, okay.
Nice.
Yep. But I would have been stupid and gone out and gone drinking with a guy just to go drink with a Russian.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's go do that.
That's why you have a guide.
That's why in Mexico I feel safe with Mexican Spec.
Right.
So. Yeah, like that. He says, if you don't know the area, it's best not to get drunk. Bad things can happen. Yeah, and I don't think he drinks, and which is fine. I think he says there's a lot of beer down there, and he says he doesn't even drink the beer. So I can't drink anymore. I'm diabetic. I shouldn't be drinking alcohol. So. But in the Navy, was on the first U.S. ship to be docked in Russia after the fall of the USSR. He got offered a rocket launcher at a bar. Surprised it wasn't a nuclear weapon.
You looking for a rocket launcher, comrade?
You
look like a man that could use a rocket launcher.
I had a kidney stone that was especially bad. My former wife, her father was I was here in the U.S. Her father was a doctor he was the lead physician at a hospital. And he told me, come to Russia. He goes, I'll just write down that you're Russian. I'll give you a Russian name. And he goes, we'll do the surgery. We'll take it out. It'll be free. I'm like, I better not. Because they have terrible infection problems. And he had a tumor, had it taken out. He was 62 years old, and he got an infection that lasted for months, like 6 months, and he died from the infection. Not the surgery for taking the tumor out, but because of the hospital wasn't like here.
Yeah.
Beer has gluten. What else do you take out? Yeah.
You can. There's.
You want the subway with or without missiles?
There is a beer called Red Bridge. My mom is gluten-free, and there's a beer out there called Red Bridge that's gluten-free. So my mom can still drink beer.
Well,
yeah, but it still has carbs.
Yeah,
a lot of carbs in beer, and he has to really be careful because of diabetes.
Yeah,
I had a non-alcoholic beer last night at my son's house. It was something from Germany. It's a little on the sweet side. It didn't taste as much like beer as it. I knew it wasn't alcoholic beer. And it had 19 grams of carbs. It's like, oh, okay, that's below my limit, but So I had one. Who was it? It was who was it that got me to have the beer at the first annual No Name Nationals?
It wasn't. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I can't think of who it was. Yep, someone gave you a
She's on here.
non-alcoholic
She's
beer.
on here. She's on here.
Colleen
I don't know.
Tebow.
Was it
Colleen. It was Colleen, I think.
Oh, okay.
So it was a Bud. What do they call it?
Zero.
Bud Zero.
That's right.
So there I am, like mid-morning, walking around drinking a beer that looks like a beer, and I'm thinking, oh man, I want to hide this. I'm going to look like a stupid alcoholic.
Why?
So I finished it in a hurry, and because everybody's driving their cars, and it's an event where you're driving, this just looks bad. So I drank it. It was good. So I came home and I bought a 6-pack of it. And I don't drink a lot, but 6-pack lasted a while. And then I bought another one. I think I still have one of those beers in there. So I drink one of those once in a while, but it still has carbs. And those, the Bud Zero, actually tastes like beer. It's pretty good. It tastes like Bud Light. It's hey, we have somebody else live. Who is that?
It's Ruby.
Ruby.
She's a red healer.
Is it what?
She's a red healer.
Red healer. How old is she?
I think she's 3.
And she's probably full of energy.
Okay,
Yes, she is. She is a ball catching fool. Ball, frisbee. Oh, she loves it all.
Nice.
We get treat puzzles for her where they're little doohickeys that you put treats inside, and they've got to do the sequence to open them up. She loves those things.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's great. I love Puppy.
She's a little on the barky side, like you heard before, but yeah, she's a pretty good dog.
Doesn't spit anything out. Doesn't spit it out.
Right.
I had a big black part lab, part pointer, 100-pound dog.
Okay.
And
Heinz 57 dog. Those are the best.
well, he was a cool dog, but I took him from Arizona to here in the back of PT Cruiser, and I put like a screen up like a police car has because he wanted to sit in my lap. I couldn't do that because a 100-pound dog can't sit in your lap while you're driving. So he's in the back of the PT Cruiser with his seat down. As soon as I'm driving, he'd go to sleep. If I stopped, he'd be up, walking around. And I didn't know what to feed him. First stop, I pulled in a McDonald's and I bought 4 cheeseburgers, 2 for me and 2 for him.
That worked.
And the screen was big. It had big openings.
Right.
So he's up there sniffing, and I give him a burger. And he goes, like, and swallows it. Like, one chew, gone. And he's sitting there, and he goes, and he spits a pickle out. It's like, how'd you do that? I gave him a second one. Same thing. I'm gone. Then he look around and spits a pickle out. So when I got home here, there were pickles all over.
I had a dog that hated pills, and so we would wrap the pills in cheese.
Yes.
Right. And the dog would, because always dogs, and then spit the pill out. Spit the pill out of cheese. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
It's a little on the forceful side, but if you take an animal and peel their jaw open and put that pill right back there, hold their jaw shut, and then pat their throat till you feel them swallow, they'll do it.
Yeah.
It's a little on the mean side, but it's effective.
I mean, you wouldn't be giving them a pill unless they needed a pill. So it's not really mean. It's just
moo.
They don't understand. What do you try to do? Pop up a comment?
Yes. I want you to see it. And I figure you're looking out there, you'll see it.
Now we have my dog Sadie.
Oh, you got more than one.
Yep.
It's a blue one, and it says that's not even a Matador.
Puppies. But puppies.
She is a subbreed of a blue heeler called a Kelpie.
Oh, okay.
And she's really freckled. That's my favorite part about her.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
I'm very happy getting all the pets.
Oh yeah. And I have a cat, which he's just running around, and I actually have 2 pet rats.
Rats.
You have cats and rats in the same house?
Cats and rats, yep, and they get along just fine.
Our cat is Power Glide, and he is an outside cat. So he's hanging out. He's probably looking in the window. If I go over to the kitchen, he'll be looking in the window.
Yeah,
I
he's
love
like one
that
thing.
as the cat's name, Power Glide.
Power Glide's a good name for a cat.
That's a great name for a cat. My cat's name is Miles.
Miles.
Miles. Like the distance.
Somewhere in there, look up if Mexican Spec he has one that says AMX on the, it's a Mexico only car. It says AMX on the Matador, on the side of the Matador. I can do the
Matador
John Wilbur way of doing things. What's that?
At Matador AMX.
Yeah, that's not an American. That's not a U.S. car.
You
That's
guys want to see a neat car? Look up an AMX 3. It looks like a Di Massa Pantera.
I know that car well. They made, I think, 6 of them.
Yes.
There might be 4 of them left. Yeah, that was what was his name? Yeah, there it is.
There it is. I've never seen
It
it.
looks like the Mach 5.
Mach 5.
Doesn't it? From Speed Racer? The front end?
Okay, it does look like, yeah, painted white. Yeah, it does look like the Mach 5.
And you know those Matadors, I like, the back fender looks kind of like that, which is one of the things I liked about the like that. I'm trying to find that car. I'm going to do the John Wilburn show, the way he shows stuff, because we're not going to find it on there. Oh, where is it? Mexican Spec's got.
You can do it on your computer.
He has so many cars.
He's doing it on his phone. We got a computer there, a computer here, a computer here.
But I can find it on my phone fast.
Well, here, I'll bring you the side cam, and you can point it at. You're just going to point it at the regular cam.
Oh, yeah, point it at this cam. Can you get it up closer? That is the one Mexican Spec. It's kind of getting some glare on it. That's the AM, but somebody stuck some kind of Chrysler scoop on the hood. But that's the...
is it like a jade green?
I think it's blue.
Yeah, blue.
And then, oh, man, this right here. Look at that. Hold that one up. Look at that. That Matador. And see that rear fender.
Anything.
That rear fender has sort of that same little swoop that the AMX3 has.
Okay.
But man,
this is why I do all this hard work.
What's he want for that? What do they?
This
want
is
for that?
janky, and I hate it.
What do they want for that? Yeah, it's 15 grand.
Dyno room. Hearing protection in the dyno room, please.
Yeah.
It's 15 grand, but it's that car only has it didn't have many miles on it.
Okay.
I can't find it. Man, I like that car. Here, buy me that car. Like we got an extra 15 grand to throw around.
We do not.
We do not have an extra 15 grand. Yeah, welcome to the dyno room. Oh, you did find it. Oh, yeah, scroll down. Oh, you are able to do that.
Oh, she has technology. Oh my goodness. We would never know. Oh, you can do it.
See, the one that came through today was that one right there. That's the one that came through today from Mexican Spec.
Wait, okay, there.
Is it a Belvedere?
No, it's a 67 Coronet, I think.
Ooh.
Okay, wait. Now I'm messing up real bad.
67 Coronet.
Oh, they call it a Charger.
Bar. Oh, it's a.
And they call it a Charger. I bet it has a Charger nose on it. See if you can scroll through that.
Yeah, it looks like a Coronet. Yeah, it's got the
scroll through his pictures
like a
that way. It's a Coronet, but I bet it's got a Charger nose on it, and they call it a Charger. That's a Mexican Charger.
Come to Papa. Dougster approved. Dougster approved. Yes. Gimme, gimme, gimme.
Yeah, wouldn't that be? See, you could go down there and see Mexican Spec. You don't even have to go see Mexican Spec. You can get it on the
No.
floor.
I mean, that's the whole reason why I'd be going down is besides to get my cars to hang out with Max. Of course, I
Okay,
got
yeah, because he'll ship them up. He'll ship them up to the border.
This is true.
Mexican Spec, there's going to be a small fee for the marketing.
He goes,
Of-
no, it's a
of this
Coronet
vehicle.
440. This is a rare car with a 3-teen and automatic. Yeah, but Mexican Spec in your thing it says Charger. On your Instagram it says Charger. I just read it. Go back to that.
Which one?
The one you were looking at.
Okay.
It says there. Oh, it does say Coronet. I misread it. I'm sorry.
It
Oh, wait a
does say
minute.
something about
This is a Mexican 67 Dodge Charger. Look, third line down. Third line down right there. Oh, right there, wherever it is.
It's yes. I love 67 anyway.
Oh, it
I love
says it's a
67
Charger.
belt there.
This is a Mexican 67 Dodge Charger. I don't know. Yeah, see right there. He goes, this is a Mexican 67 Dodge Charger. You got to fix that if that's not what it is. Charger, flip around, hit like, oh man. It's just a cool car. I don't care. And it's a 318, which is kind of cool because that's okay.
He
Okay,
changed
that's
it.
enough out of you two.
Oh,
Nope, we
Maybe.
have proof. We have evidence.
and now he changed it. He fixed it.
We
He
have
fixed
evidence.
it. He fixed it.
No barking.
I'm sorry. I said it as a Charger Grill. Now it says Coronet.
Let's see.
You refreshed it.
I have to.
No, it still says Charger on ours.
Okay. Well, we'll fix it.
Well, who cares? Go down, scroll down to the.
I just want to say thank you to
Oh.
everyone who has been here tonight and put up with us trying to struggle through the new software and stuff like that. So we love being here, and we'll get better at it. It'll be fun, more fun for everybody. As you can see, we're sorting out, having guests. Doug, thank you for being our test subject.
No
That's
problem.
good having you here.
Guinea pig.
Guinea
Guinea
pig.
pig.
Yes.
Guinea pig.
I wanted to use terminology that adequately described the amount of pain that we're like inflicting on you right at this moment. And I think
No
guinea pig-
pain at all. Doesn't
I
hurt.
had a
that.
guinea pig. I had a guinea pig for a summer because my son was in 3rd grade and they had a guinea pig in school.
Mhm.
And summertime came around, they wanted somebody to take the guinea pig for the summer. So there's a permission slip that he could be in this drawing to be one of the ones that may get to take the guinea pig home. So I
Right.
signed him back. Well, he won the guinea pig for the summer. So I said, "Oh, you won." He goes, "Yeah, nobody else would sign the permission slip." so I got the
Yeah.
guinea pig. But he ended up being a good pet for some time. Oh,
Right.
there we go.
I like them when they panic and they go.
That animal, he'd make this noise. So I'd copy it and I'd walk in the door after work and I always cut up vegetables. And the
Right.
part of the vegetable that I don't eat, like the heart from the lettuce or the
Right.
parts of stuff that I didn't eat, the guinea pig loved it. So I'd walk in the house, start cutting up my vegetables. As soon as I'm in the house, I'd go, and that animal would run around like crazy. Here come the vegetables, you know. And then I had to send him back to school. Let's see here. If you look at the piece, yes, Cornet said it sold. Yeah, okay. But the Matador that's in there,
There's a Matador.
yeah, scroll down. It's further. It's
Oh, is
the
it way
Ruffles.
down or is it?
It's yeah, down further. Down. More.
Well, you're not lying, Buff. They're all good.
They're all good. You know, every once in a while, there it is. It's the bottom
Oh,
right.
I got one of these. No, that's
No,
not
that's
That's
it.
Plymouth Laser?
Yeah,
No, that's an Eagle.
Bottom
Eagle
right.
Talon.
this one.
yeah, that one. And then scroll to the scroll a little bit.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I can
I
see
see
it.
the AMX stripe on the fender now.
Yeah, man, I want that car, but
That's
I
a
just
cool
I
color.
just can't do it. I just can't do it.
Come on, Buff. Ah,
So my
spending
Jeep.
money.
Yeah, see, there's a view. There's the last one was a view I like. It's set just right. The nose is a little bit low, or maybe the accent's a little bit high. It's just, and it has the same. It has 258 in it, which is the same one mine had.
Okay.
Mexican
So what
Specs
would-
definitely has my favorite Instagram channel. I can't stop looking at it. Yeah,
So
look at
what
that.
would you
It's got
do
the
to
good
that?
steering wheel, good seats. What's that?
What would you do to the Matador if I said, "Here, Buff, she's yours"? How would you set it up? Would you change it in any way, or would you leave it just as she
I
is?
mean, I kind of like it the way it is. It depends on how high it is in the back end, and if it sits too high looking, I'd probably adjust that a bit to be a little lower in the front and a little lower in the back. I like the nose low look a little bit, but I don't know if I like it real high in the back. But probably just maintain it, you know. And I don't know how the engines were in Mexico. Mine was it was a 74 in the U.S. It was the beginning of the smog stuff, and it was really choking on itself. So I might do something like carb racing or something to just make it so it works right. But my guess is the Mexican ones are probably already better than what I had. I don't know. I wouldn't do anything other than maintain it, keep it clean, wax it.
Oh yeah,
Just it's just a nice car the way it is.
yep, it is.
Now, if I found an old messed up one here that I had to redo, I don't know. I don't know. I might see AMC engines. I like them, but they're getting hard to find and everything.
Right.
You know, they had a torque flight in them, so you could probably put a 360 Magnum or something, put Chrysler running gear in it. It'd probably be fine, you know.
But I think that the case is different for those. It's 727 guts.
It
is
is.
a 727, but it has a different case because of
Mine had a
different
904, and even
bell
at
housing.
904s that put up with that. Yeah, the bell housing's different, but I think you could put a Chrysler 904 in it, and then the back part, the drive shaft and the mount to the cross member and the shifter and all that would probably be the same. And if
Okay.
not, you put an adapter or something.
Well,
But,
John Wilburn is the 904 king.
Well, you know, and there's two people in there. There's John Wilburn. Well, I guess Tony to a certain extent, although
Yeah.
he knows 727s, and then of course, John Cope.
Yes.
John
Ben
Cope.
Cook
Were you
shop.
at No Name? Were you at No Name?
No, I'm coming this year. I will be there this year, but no, I haven't been yet.
Okay, well, John Cope, the first year I saw him, didn't know who he was, didn't know anything, because I was just new, and I wanted to meet her, and I met her. Because I've been watching her YouTube channel, walked up and introduced myself. So then this last year, 23, I met John Cope. I mean, he's just quite a character, you know.
Yeah.
And then she got all these stickers and these autographs of all the participants on the side of her van. John Cope came over and autographed the van and talked to us, you know. And it's like, man, I'd like to go up and see him. Oh, have you been to his shop? You're
I've
near
been to
him.
his shop. Yes.
Oh, I thought so. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I keep telling Kim, man, if I was like 20 years younger, I'd go up there and try to get a job with him for a couple of years just because I'd never been into automatics and I could
Right.
learn. Be an enjoyable place to work, you know.
And the thing is I think he's looking for help.
But I'm 70 and I'm getting slow and I'm overwhelmed here. I got a whole plan of stuff I need to do here.
And besides, the commute to Indiana would be terrible.
You know, I used to commute between here, Middle Tennessee, and Yuma, Arizona,
Wow.
in my van, Ford van, or in my 87 Corvette, or in whatever other junk car I had. Oh, my Mazda a bunch of times. And that's 1,850 miles. Oh, and I'd sleep like 2 hours in a rest stop and finish the trip, you know, and I did that a lot. I also worked in Maryland. Up by, I don't know if you know where Pax River is, Pax River Naval Air Station, way out in the very eastern part of Maryland. So I worked there a lot. So it was a lot of commuting, and I'm a pilot and I don't like flying. So I drove a lot. So Indiana's pretty close.
Yeah.
But
Isn't there an Air Force base in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan? It's like for training.
KI
So there
Sawyer
used to be one.
up there. But it was in the middle part of Michigan. It's closed now. I don't know what's up there. But I was in the Air Force for 10 years, but then I did civilian stuff. And then I always did civilian stuff after that, but I worked for a defense contractor for 15 years. And
Back
doing
when
that,
Buff
I was
was
working,
a janitor.
I worked for the Navy a lot. And I worked for, well, I helped train Marines, Air Force, Navy. And I worked for the Army for a while. But the Army, I never saw anybody in the Army. It was all civilians. So I've worked for all four services.
That's cool.
But actually was enlisted in the Air Force for 10 years. So, and the Air Force, I was an engine mechanic. You know what a C-5 is?
Mhm.
Big giant transport airplane. C-5s and C-141s, and then
Those are the ones where the nose tilts to the side, right?
lifts up.
Lifts up. Yep.
Yeah, you can see all. It looks like a giant tube. You can look through it.
Yep. Looks like a giant tube.
But
Mexican Spec, would you be so kind as to drop a link to the Dougster's channel in the chat? So in
Please.
case we should have done that earlier, but in case anybody wants to check out his videos and his projects. Have you put up a video recently? I'm not even.
Mexican Spec.
I've
No.
got all sorts of content up. I've got stuff on my ever-growing collection of Hastings piston ring and K-Site products, which is the Hastings company.
You're the one.
I'm
You're the one. That's why I bought
one.
those. That's why I bought those rings for the Valiant. Because that was like over a year ago. You were talking those things up and saying they still came in paper.
Yep.
But ours didn't.
Yep.
But you know what? I got them, and ours were in plastic. I was like, oh, I thought these were going to be in paper. But still,
Well, the ones I have that are old from the 40s, they're in paper.
Oh yeah.
But the best part is 9 chances out of 10, my mother-in-law probably packed your rings, Buff.
Really, they were
Really.
Don't say that about my mother-in-law.
We got those rings. Oh, we got the last set of standard pistons from Rock Auto, and then I ruined one of the pistons, and they had one single piston left that was standard, and I bought that because we ruined a piston in the press. And then if you go back, my very first video I did was my little tool I made so you can support the piston properly when you press the wrist pin in or out of it.
Yes.
If we didn't support it properly, we bent the piston. Of course, that was stupid. It's like I knew it was going to happen. Tried it anyway.
I told you to do it.
Advanced Adapters makes adapter plate for AMCs, but you're on the better path, Buff. Just change out all of it to keep it the same and all those. Advanced Adapters, their factory is at the airport that I used to fly out of in California, but I never went in that place. I don't know why I never went in there. It was right there, and I never went in there.
Dougster, we're gonna kick you out.
Why?
Okay.
I mean, we'll have you again next week, but I am exhausted, and I want to do some housekeeping here. We're gonna shut the stream off of my channel so that we consolidate the chat if there is any more, because we're right about 2 hours. So we enjoyed having you, and we would love to have you again. Thank you so much for being here.
There he is. He got the link.
We posted you up a link. Hopefully that
Thank you.
serves anybody who's interested. And see, like, I don't even have your name there, which I know I can, but I just blanking on how to put it back there.
This is all experimental for you, so it's all fine.
Thank you.
You're the first experiment.
You've been very patient.
And thank you.
Hey,
And this actually, Kim did a good job. I asked her to have it so the 3 people, whoever our guest was, would be sitting here with us. I think she did real well.
I agree. I love it.
Block somewhere, it looks like you're sitting here with us.
Right.
Yeah.
So I will looking forward to talking with you all again. Have a great evening. Good night.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay. Now we go back to being us, full-time, full size. And then if anyone is still watching on my channel at Kim Fixes Things, we're going to continue for a few more minutes on the Buff Del Campo channel. And I don't know if
I don't know if you can
Mexican
do that.
Spec, can you put up that one?
What's that? Oh, put up Go look at your messages on Instagram, Buff. There seems to be quite a few of them. Okay, I'll look at that. But right now, we are going to.
But
yeah, if you kill your channel, it may kill the whole thing. Is what you're saying?
it might, and that's why I waited so long, because I really, once we started doing this, I realized it's not going to work with the chat. But Mix Inspect put up a link to
Buff Del Campo.
Buff Del Campo channel, because some people might be on Kim Fixes Things, and if they want to continue to watch the stream, they're going to have to move.
Candy Green. Candy Green.
If you are watching on Kim Fixes Things, thank you for being here, and we will see you another time. And good night.
Okay, so now what happens? I don't know what's happening. Something's happening. You took us out of StreamYard? Or what happened? Are we still in? I don't really know what's happening. We don't know what we're doing.
Now we wait, see what we have done. It does seem like,
Roy Bailey, success.
see?
Max
Okay.
Inspect says he still sees us on
All right. Good. Now your
That's behind. That's behind.
studio is way behind.
I know it's always way behind. It's always way behind. Don't mess with it. Just let it be behind.
You could click live and it'll make it live.
Oh, I see. It's because the red stripe went back.
Woohoo! We're doing everything. We're making it work, people.
Okay. I don't know why that one gets so far behind by itself.
All right. If you are here, then you are here. Hey, everybody.
Sorry,
How you
I have
doing?
17 people here.
Um,
And we should all be. You're still live on Buff's channel. Okay, good. Excellent. Excellent, Iceman. Thanks.
and now this is simpler. We're never going to do that again. The dual stream thing is
That was intense.
chaotic.
That was intense.
Yeah. The door is wide open because I left it open to get some.
I was wondering, I could hear a door squeaking. I think, why do we have a door squeaking? You tell me the door's open. I'm looking like we're wide open to outside.
It's like 1,000 degrees in here.
There any animals coming in?
No.
You sure?
I
We live out in the middle of nowhere where there's animals.
there's sometimes
I don't want any skunks in here or anything else. Deer. The cat. I don't want that cat in here. It's not an indoor cat. That cat will start marking her territory in here and I'll get upset.
Whew. All right.
Iceman says, I didn't like not seeing all the comments. Yeah, that's what we didn't like because one screen has all the comments, but you can't see them very well. And the other screen had the comments on my channel.
That was too much, people.
Thank
you for being here.
I really miss, Kim, that monitor being on the side and the big,
Yeah, this big text.
because this,
here.
I'm squinting to see that because, yeah, but I don't want it there. Oh, I don't know what I want. I want it back the way it was, but that's going to take some housekeeping, like you said. That's not good either. That's not good either. Just leave it over there for tonight.
Yeah.
But when we turn that 55-inch monitor on its side, man, I mean, those comments are like 2 inches high, and even with my close-up glasses, I can't help but read them.
Well, yeah. It's see,
See, my close-up glasses
hold on.
are good for what we're doing, but if I wear my distance glasses, oh, what do we got
So
here?
I'm going to show them what's going on here, right? All right. There we go. All right. So we're looking at that's his. He has control of that. So those are some of his.
This right here.
Yeah, he has control of those pictures there, and I can pick it up in here, and then this becomes the screen that we send to StreamYard. And see how you can't really read the comments in StreamYard? You can read them really good over here. Well, these are only the ones on his channel, and those are the ones on both channels, but StreamYard's not so fun. I don't like.
Well, part of it is just we're not familiar.
No, it's not as good. I can't increase the size. I like it when I can make it bigger. And I can make it bigger on this screen, but not that screen. Don't like it. Someone asked early in the stream how the Subaru was going. This Subaru was a catastrophe. God damn it, the stupid Subaru. Man. Yeah, it's on pause for a while. We have to work on your car. We have to work on the big task, the big job that we're doing that's like on the chopping block. The main one is the hydraulic oil tank for the Case 1816B skid loader. So the case, I guess I should bring up a picture of the darn thing. The skid loader is having problems. I'm going to bring up a picture.
Well, I really don't care because I don't want politics to enter into this too much. And what I do with the politics is, some little bit of something somebody says they're unhappy with something the way the country is. Yeah, okay, fine. But anything more than that, start naming personalities, this kind of stuff, it doesn't belong in here. This is cars and tools and other nonsense. Anything that's as serious as politics, that belongs in some political channel.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of politics.
Okay, there's your skid loader or one like it. We got to build a cage like that for it.
Oh, why are we floating in the air?
We're floating.
What is this? Here's our skid loader. Okay, so see this part of the skid loader? Oh, you can't see. I have to do it over here. This part of this, nope, they can't see.
Oh, Danny Boyd just coming in.
Here it is. Okay, this part of this. This part of the skid loader, right here above the wheel at the back, this beam that goes up, this is a hollow tank. And on the other side, it has a sister that the uprights, they're both hollow, and all the hydraulic fluid, it's the reservoir for the hydraulic fluid. Well, the thing is when you use the bucket to pick stuff up, it's not too bad. But when you use the corner of one side of the bucket to try and pry a stump out of the ground, well, it breaks the welds back there because it's a light duty machine. It was never meant to be used that hard, but it's a farm machine. And if I need to pull a stump, I'm going to use the hydraulic machine to do it. So anyways, the weld at the bottom of the tank, right here from that torsional forces cracks. And since it's an oil tank, I can't put a weld on. I can't re-weld it because it's full of oil. Explosion danger.
Yeah, we'll never get enough oil out of it to weld on it.
So, so I got to make a tank. It's got to have 7/8 in and out plus a fill tube. And so I bought one of those air tanks. And we're going to cut into it and make a tank with that. So that's our most important thing that we're doing because we have all this property and I have equipment and heavy stuff to move around. And, Wendy English is here. Hi, Wendy.
Wendy. See, Wendy and Danny Boyd and Wendy English both missed the 2 hours of most confusion. I hope it wasn't as confusing on that end as this end. We had two channels going at the same time into the same StreamYard. So if you went into Kim's channel or my channel, it all went into the same StreamYard show. And it was pretty interesting. But I don't know if we'll do that again because it was pretty hectic on this end.
Too many things. And I can't set up the chat properly for us to see it as it goes by. We're not going to do it that way ever again. But we learned something. We learned that we don't ever want to do it that way again. And we had a good time. We had Dougster on, and we're not finishing right now. We shut off my stream so we could focus a little bit. And it does feel a lot lighter, like a lot less like effort on my part to because you could see and I could see and we can just do what we're used to doing.
I had to weld mine as well. Secret was to leave the old oil in. The oil keeps it cool and you can lay it good MIG bead. See, I suppose. See, I used to weld gas tanks a lot, but I fill them with car exhaust back, like a car that doesn't have a catalytic converter on it. And I'd just wait till it got good, the tank got good and warm. I'd even do them when they had gasoline in them. But, because there was not enough oxygen in there to light off, I do that. But with the oil tank, the holes are kind of small. I didn't really have a way to do that. It's at the very bottom. A gas tank, when it's out of the car, you can turn it around so the gas is at the bottom. And how could oil explode? Oh, if it's full of oil.
Yeah, I'm with.
But to me, full of oil, it's going to suck up a lot of heat. I mean, that might take a hell of a welder.
Yeah, how do you weld with the oil coming out of the crack though?
Yeah, and it's going to be coming out of the crack. I'm going to have a fire and everything. Let's just the heck with it. We'll just put we'll put a separate oil tank on it. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. We'll just do that.
Yeah, but that was like I went to we should be a sponsored stream because we're always like telling people to do things.
What's up?
We were at I went to Rural King.
Oh, yeah, I've been telling her how great Rural King is, but I haven't been there in so long.
Oh my gosh!
And she went there without me, and she comes back. You got to go. Yeah,
Rural
it's been 10 years since I've been.
They had everything I want. Oh my god! I could spend my life savings at Rural King.
I'm not sure what Danny Boyd's talking about.
I don't know.
Little umbrellas. I don't know what he's talking about. What are you talking about?
It's something about a mod thing. I thought it was a little wrench.
I don't know. I have no idea. Rural King is the best. Okay, so Iceman, you have him up there. Cheapest brake clean around.
I didn't even think to look for brake clean.
And she'll come back with a skid steer scoop full of brake clean. Oh, I see. Like one-stop shopping and broke. There's a food store. What is that thing called? They have them all over. It's across the parking lot from Rural King.
I forget which one that is.
It's they're all independent shops, but they have like a common name. So I've been going in there lately. It's an old store and set up like old store, but they got good deals in there. So I started going in there, and I was pointing out across the parking lot, telling Kim, I said, that's Rural King. In there they have like stuff like garden supplies and things and tractors, but I really didn't explain it well.
That's a really good price, yeah. Iceman. You know what though? They didn't have the best price on batteries. Rural King battery, like the basic, car battery, lead acid car battery was $79, and Walmart was $69. But which I was happy to see because they were over $100 a couple years ago. Like actually, some consumer prices are lowering in some cases. I think the economy's doing things. But
Tractor Supply. Danny Boyd saying they have Tractor Supply. Rural King's like 10 times the size of a Tractor Supply, but same idea.
You know what? No. 10?
You don't think so? Okay, 8 times.
2 or 3 times.
Oh, at least.
Well, maybe.
It's like a Walmart. Yeah. It's like a Walmart.
They had live chickens and bunny rabbits, and they had a section that was just they had like kayaks. I don't think they had kayaks. Oh, you know what though? Out in the backyard of Tractor Supply, I think Tractor Supply and Rural King are very much the same. Just one's just bigger. They had a lot of clothing too, and there's a lot of.
I'm.
Which one?
Look at way up there, Barrows.
Barrows.
It's about to go by. That, because we were talking about that. It's also the main support for the front bucket. That's why it broke. That is exactly why it broke, and it broke at the very bottom, right where the stress would be from lifting the bucket up. And
you can see how thick it is, where the where it wraps around. You can see easily that it's thick, but so the story that I got when we purchased it was that it came from a chicken farm, and it tracked. There was chicken poop all built up in the corners and stuff like that. And they got worked hard and put away wet. And it just, years and years of work. It has metal fatigue, and I don't think it's going to fall apart, but I don't think we're going to get a successful weld very easily. It's cracked like this long at the base of one of those tanks. And I just think if we weld it, it's just going to crack somewhere else. So if I stick a tank up high, like behind my head, I think that I think it will, there won't be any torsional stress. It'll just be a tank suspended there, and I think that it will fix it once and for all, which is good because every time I use it, I got to put a couple quarts of fluid in it, and it just leaks and leaks and leaks out of like everywhere. It needs one of the rams needs new U cup things, and then I did find a hose that was not seated tight enough, and that was leaking. I think that was the worst part of it. And anyways, I'm working on it. I mean, we have a lot of money invested in that machine, and when it's working, it's definitely worth it. So we got to get it back together.
That thing, it's a light duty machine for a piece of machinery, but for what we have around here, it's the heaviest duty thing we have, and it's a really good thing.
I mean, there's no other way for us to lift 300-pound stuff around.
Really good thing to have around here, and when Kim got it, it was filthy and it had problems, and she pressure washed it, like, so now there's no bad stuff on it except some greasy, oily stuff that's leaked. But and she's fixed a lot of the things, so it's really a good machine right now. But we got to get the oil problem, the hydraulic fluid problem fixed. And she bought the tank, so that's a project we need to do next. I came from a cattle ranch and they snapped the whole bucket off.
Packing wet 1-ton round bales out of a hayfield. That's how you got it. You got it for $800.
Oh, she paid way more than that.
Like $4,500 for it. But it already had the new motor in it, and I overpaid. There's a lot of call for those machines in this area, and people don't let them go. It had new tires and new wheel bearings, and it had, and a almost new motor. Like, they had slapped as much. They kept it going as long as they could, but it really needed a pretty major overhaul, and they must have. So who knows what they did?
So what are our priorities right now? We need to get the hydraulic system on the skid steer done. We need to rebuild the right side of the front end on the Valiant, because the left side's done, except for the tie rod, because somebody put those tie rods together backwards. The inboard tie rod end is a left-hand thread, and the outboard one's a right-hand thread. And somebody had put them around the other way, so when we got new, the kit only comes with one of the rod ends, so I had to get the two left hands as well. So we have to finish the tie rod on the left side. We have to completely do the right side, and then do wheel alignment on it. And then I don't know exactly what's going to happen with the Valiant. We'll either do the turbo next, or I've got some other stuff, some body work I want to do. And but that car's got to go to No Name Nationals. I think that's the car we're going to take to No Name Nationals.
Well, we wanted to be able to take it out with us to go.
You want to take it to Power Tour
stuff.
You want to take it to Power Tour, and maybe we will. I don't know.
It's not a very long drive. I'd like to be able to drive it over there and meet some people for Power Tour.
Your van's more well known.
Mexican spec.
I was fixing
the
Subaru.
Was number one, and I had it sold.
Well, it's actually a good thing that deal fell through, because if she would have taken the money and given the guy the title, and he drove 10 feet and it broke, that would have been really sad, So it broke before the money exchange. Yeah. So she didn't end up selling a guy a bum car, and so now now we gotta fix the.
I have to pull the motor back out and probably put on a different cylinder head, and I'm pretty sure I have a different cylinder head, but I don't know why the cam has seized twice now in that head. The first time I really thought I knew it was something I had done wrong, but I really thought I had corrected the problems. And for it to have done that again, I don't know. But I know to fix it, I've got to take the motor back out, and maybe it will be obvious what happened. I don't know. That's another story for another day. And the Subaru it's gotten bumped.
You gotta read Danny Boyd's,
Where's Danny?
the big one.
This one?
Yeah,
one
read
time,
that. Read that.
When I was a kid, I went up the street where they were still building the houses, and there was a steamroller there. I saw the solenoid and decided to crank it. It started up. We ran. Danny!
I want to know where it ended up. Where did it stop? Or is it still going?
It's still going.
Okay, here's a funny thing about the Subaru. We were at my son's house last night, and he had a bunch of guests over, and one of them had a Subaru wagon, and it was in the, what do they call it? I don't know, one of these looks like a Subaru station wagon to me, an Outback. It was in the driveway. And as we come out of the house, I said to Kim, I said, you could probably have that engine out of there in a half an hour. And the people that own it laughed. They said, we just had a new engine put in it. I had to laugh.
No.
Another Subaru with another new engine in it. Oh, man.
Honda swapped that Subaru. Now, I won't make any money buying a Honda engine to put in a 1999 Subaru with 225,000 miles.
Sounds like cam problems. Yeah, the cam. Last time we knew what happened, it wasn't pre-lubed enough with the right stuff, and it seized one of the cam bearings, which is not really a cam bearing. It's just a board, like it's been bored thing in the head. So the cam bearing is actually aluminum part of the head, and it was obvious it seized. So she had some other heads and stuff. So we fixed that. And we made sure it was lubed well. We made sure we had oil pressure to the cam. We made sure all that worked. So, and then it drove for, I don't know, what did you put on it? 20, 30 miles, something? I don't know. We drove around for weeks, and then it seized again. So I don't know what happened. Don't know. Controls were padlocked, so we couldn't move it. It was just idling. There was a guy cutting his grass nearby, and my mom had her friends over at the time. Luckily, no cops. Man, a runaway steamroller. Things we do.
I'm glad you couldn't move it.
Oh, God. Drill a hole in, drain the oil, tap it, and put a small pipe plug, seal it up. Done.
I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Drill a hole. Let's go back. See, there's something. Scroll up a little bit where it says up a little bit higher. See if he said something else. Because that one. Why won't it scroll?
I could scroll.
Okay,
Where do you want
let's
to
see.
go?
I guess he didn't. Scroll back down. I thought he said something else, but he didn't.
I don't know. They're all
I was thinking about.
They're all giving me grief about my Subaru failure. What a miserable failure.
Thinking about.
I'm so mad.
I want to really look at a diagram and study that thing and where the oil goes and where it could be leaking out. I want to really look at it this time. And when you're ready to do it, I'll be there and I'll kind of help you with it.
Yeah, it's very much a rabbit hole because I put different cylinder heads than what that motor had from the factory on. I put newer version. And maybe things don't line up. But I thought we had pressure, but I put a different cam in there. And then the valve cover gaskets assembled.
He's talking about the skid steer, not the Subaru. Yeah.
Drill a hole. So
I wanted to get all the oil out there because if I'm welding and that oil starts becoming a gas inside there, it's going to be an explosive gas. And I don't want to weld it with explosive gas in there. So the thing to do would be to put inert gas in there, like fill it with some welding gas or something, an inert gas, and then I don't have to worry about that. But we decided just to build a tank. I mean, she bought the tank. We'll just put it up there. Tavo! Hey, how are you doing?
Tavo's here. Tavo has entered the chat. Welcome to the stream.
I just watched another video of his.
You missed so much. We've been here for hours, and I will not repeat everything that has happened. You'll have to watch the replay.
I think he's been at work. I just watched a video of yours. I may have commented already on somebody's live about it. May have been on Uncle Tony's live. Tavo did a live with walking around looking at all the Valiants of Australia since the beginning, all the way up through the end of the production. And maybe Mexican Spec can put up a link to Tavo's channel, so other people can look at that. If you kind of wonder what happened with the A bodies in Australia, it's a good video. Goes through the whole thing, and it was really interesting. One time we pissed in a 5-gallon bucket of it. Oh no, this house which is being built, my friend. Oh geez. Oh, you're on a working lunch break, almost over. Oh,
Well, thanks
man.
for stopping in, Tavo. We appreciate it.
Well, and Tavo, and thanks for that video. That's something I've never understood the whole thing, and that was a really interesting video. And there's another one I don't know that maybe you know it well enough to do one similar. Is the Falcon, the history of the Ford Falcon, because in the U.S., the Falcon just turned into kind of a frumpy little economy car and died. And in Australia, it turned into a really nice car, and it went on for a while, a whole different continuation of that body style, and the Falcon car. And that would be very interesting to get an Australian's view of that. Sneak out at night in that neighborhood. Man, Dan, you must have been one of the neighborhood terrorists. What you looking at? Australian something. What is that? Well, I was thinking of the one that looks like that one, that brown one with a black hood. That one. That's some kind of a Australian Falcon. Yeah, I'm looking over there where you're poking. That's an Australian Falcon that's nothing like what we had, although I suppose some of the structure might be the same, but I mean, we just never had anything that cool. And I would be interesting to hear the Falcon history in Australia. Is Hutchinson, Kansas far? Because there's a channel,
Adventures from Scratch. I've seen that channel.
Hutchinson, Kansas. Isn't that where Hoovie's garage? That's where he takes his stuff to the Car Wizard. Isn't the Car Wizard in Hutchinson? And my brother lives real close to Hutchinson. Apologies for the quality of the live. You know, Tavo, that live was rough. I mean, the video was rough, but I knew why. I knew you were out there where there wasn't a good connection, and you're doing it probably with a phone. And you know what? I didn't care. I looked at it was rough looking video, but you were explaining everything, and I watched every bit of it because of the content, not because of the quality. I just overlooked the quality because it didn't matter. It's a gremlin. Oh, that's Newton. Newton is where the Car Wizard is. Yeah, and all those little towns are all kind of close to each other. My brother lives in what's a big city there? He used to live in one of the small towns right out there by Newton. Yeah, and if Mexican Spec didn't get that up. But anyway, if you want, go find Tavo. Just search it on YouTube, and you'll find it. It's the only guy doing Tavo doing all these A-body Chryslers in Australia, and that particular video is really worth watching. Not so much the live. I don't know if you put the live up or not, but the one with the history of the A-body. Fig Newtons, I love them. They give me the heartburn. Fig Newtons, is that like, so they come from Newton, Kansas? Oh, there we go. You got it. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yep. If you're not subscribed to Tavo,
Yeah, give him a sub while you're there.
Yeah, or yeah, check out. He does interesting stuff, and he's friendly to the channel, which we like.
And see, I had a 57 Ranchero, and I had a 72 El Camino, and I really like those little pickups. And down under, Chrysler had them. They had the A-body, the Wayfarer, which is kind of Chrysler's version, Plymouth version of an El Camino or Ranchero. Good night, Mexican Spec. Thanks for posting that.
Oh, nachos!
What is this? What did I miss?
He said he's having nachos.
Oh, now it's nacho time. I can't eat nacho. That's a different Wayfarer. That's an American
Darn it.
Wayfarer. Got to find the Australian Wayfarer. Wayfarer in the U.S. was like a Dodge coupe. Yeah, there's a Wayfarer. In fact, that looks like Tavo's, the blue one. The blue one. Yeah.
Blue one?
Yeah, that one. That looks. That's the front end. Looks like a Dart. There was one that the front end looked like a Valiant, but that's a. You can't see it because you chopped the top off. I don't know what you've done.
Oh, crud.
You did something. Won't it scroll so the top isn't chopped? There. That's basically their El Camino, only it's A-body Chrysler. I think that's so cool. And that's the early one. The ones I like are the 67, 8, 9, 10. No, 70. There's no 60, 10. Yeah, Ute. Yeah, down under they call them a Ute. And but the name of the car is a Wayfarer. And I'm trying to read this.
They're watching their sugar. Cookie doughs. They're all talking about snacks. You're going to make me hungry. I've been sitting here for 2.5 hours.
She made cookies. She made some cookies one night while we were going to do the live, but she didn't get them finished, so they didn't get cooked. Well, then after the live, I think she ate all the cookie dough.
I threw most of it away. It was making me sick
because you were
eating it.
just eating. Okay, look up what he said. Look up what Tavo said. AP2 Wayfarer.
Okay.
Beige body, kind of me in car form. Oh, look at the front end of that thing.
Which one?
Any of them, that one, any of them. Look at that. Oop, I'm in the way.
I could probably fix it a little bit.
That is crazy. Oh, that's a lot of chrome. Well, the turn signals point toward the direction you're going. Yeah, I've never seen that. That's a Dodge or DeSoto? What is that thing? Oh, it's a Chrysler Royal Wayfarer AP2. Man, that looks like a tank. Look at the 56 Plymouth. I think it's a 58 up there, but the other Ute right there, that green one. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, that's but those are all the really old ones. Look at how rounded the top is. It's just like a station wagon. They lopped it off.
Don't like a camper shell.
Yeah, a camper shell or a cap or whatever they call it. I don't know what they call them down there. Cap or camper shell. Yeah, the one I like is, look up like 67 Plymouth Ute. Something like that. I think that's what I think Talos is a 67, but I'm not sure.
Amphibious. Oh, it looks like that amphibious car a little bit. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's got the dark grill. Does it? No,
Yeah.
That's got a different. That's a 67? I don't. Oh, that's really old. That's the one with the.
That's because I left the AP2, probably.
Oh yeah, get rid of AP2. Up to. No, I didn't know about the APs. I don't know. That's a 67. Or maybe it's like a 70. Look up a 70. Just change it to 70 and see what happens. I don't have all the years correct. Oh, Amphicar. I worked on an Amphicar one time. Oh, those are glasses.
Something bad happened here.
That's how I met my ex-wife.
What's
I was
that?
doing a search for some parts for some brakes on a Russian airplane. Instead, I met her. Yeah, there you go. Well, you had it before you did whatever you did.
What did I do?
I don't know. That'll work. Yeah, that'll work. Just
You
make
like
it
this
so
other one
just
better?
make it so we can see it, or the green one down there so you can see the whole thing. Yeah, and then scroll it somehow so we can see it. Yeah, there. I think that's just. I wish they'd had those here. I would have had one instead of an El Camino. Although I like my El Camino. I like the El Camino. I like the Ranchero. Utes or buttes. I would totally drive that Valiant Ute.
And wear the Ray-Bans.
I'd lose that visor. Yeah, that's something. Maybe Tavo will comment on this. Is that I see a lot of sun visors on cars in Australia. Is that a big thing down there to put those outside visors, or did they come originally, or what's the deal on that?
Yeah, is that a dealer option? Because I mean, we saw a lot. There was a lot.
For some reason, the comments are way behind where the pictures are, but that's all right. To compete with Compressed for the Day, that Volkswagen.
He's probably got a delay.
I never noticed that, Buff. What's that? Never noticed what? Never noticed that. Don't know. I said something. Oh, the Amphicar. Yeah, I worked on an Amphicar one time when I had my first radiator shop. Somebody had one. They're out in the lake driving around, and there's two little braces that come up behind the back seat from where the engine is, and they're spot welded. Well, the spot welds broke, or one of them broke, and the guy's driving around out in the lake, started running bad, and he looked around to see what was going on with the engine, and the water was going in the carburetor because it was sitting so low in the water because it was starting to sink, and it sunk, and he came ashore with swimming. So they had to get some divers and a tow truck and cables and everything. They got the thing out of the lake, and then it went to the shop next door to me that was a foreign car auto repair, and those people were draining the gearboxes, and there's multiple gearboxes and stuff to make the propellers work, and rebuild the engine, and I got the radiator from it, and then they had to fix the body where the little spot welds had broken, and I bet that car was there for 6 months. I was getting tired of seeing it, but the customer is real happy with it. Probably had a hell of a bill on it. 758.
Oh, Iceman is leaving, so I want to say goodbye to him before we move along too far. Thank you for stopping in. We enjoy having you. I know some people can't stay. People pop in and out. We don't mind that. So thanks for being here.
And you came in right at the beginning. Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
And through all the confusion of the two channels at the same time.
Get a camera. We'll have you on.
Yeah. Get a camera. We'll have you on. Sure. Rebuild the engine. I would have just say here, rebuild the engine. I would just drain it, refilled it.
Well, if you hydrolock an engine, you can really destroy it real fast.
I think that they took it all apart to get all the weeds and muck and everything. What made the engine quit was when the water went in the carburetor because he was driving it across the lake. And
he just kept going. He didn't want to stop. He wasn't ready to sink.
Well, I don't think they sit real low in the water, so I don't think he knew there was a problem until it started quitting. Back to work now. Have a great rest. Chat, everyone. Yes, those visors were very popular since the 50s or earlier. Faded away in the 80s. Okay. Yeah, because I still see a lot of them down under. Yeah, thanks, Tavo. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for the good video. Yeah, pull the plugs in. I've done that kind of thing, drained engines like that, but I don't know. They took the thing all apart. They had those gearboxes apart, and I don't know. That thing came in with, they pulled it out of a lake. It came with so much muck and stuff, weeds hanging from it. That was in the late 70s. It was a while ago. It sold as a boat. Yeah, it was a boat and it was a car. Not a very good boat, not a very good car. You know what steered that thing in the water? The front tires. When you move the tires, that's what steered it in the water.
That's horrible. They should have
You
been
can bet
smarter.
it wasn't a good boat, wasn't a good car. What you doing?
I am moving this. So
Move the
you're-
camera so it looks more like I'm looking at the camera
Yeah.
because the
Is that in your way? Vision?
no, yeah, and if it is, it's okay because it's skinny. You took the guts out of a camera, so all it's up there is just a little camera
It's
part.
funny.
It's tiny.
I took a webcam and I just cut it right open.
It was a big obnoxious webcam, and she took it all apart. Now it looks like just like an alien. So like a little skinny stock with a camera on it.
I stuck it on top of a coat hanger, so all it is
Oh, is
is a
that what it is?
wire taped to a coat hanger, like this far off the top of the tripod, so that it doesn't disrupt your field of view any more than it has to.
Oh man, snow hooning is fun. One time I high centered my mom's Buick on a drift down the street from home. Man,
Woo, that's bad.
yeah, on the road it handled like a boat. In the water it floated like a car. You about got it. I never rode one, but yeah, that guy was.
Maybe that's what we should do. We should design a boat that boats like a boat and cars like a car.
Oh man, that's the other thing I wanted. I want to do that Spitfire you have. Maybe find an old boat body.
So that might be what. So that Spitfire, the problem with that Spitfire that some people may not be aware of, he has been talking about that Spitfire for a while. Let me bring up a picture of a Spitfire if we're going to talk about it. Talk for a second while I think.
This guy here has 3 of them, but only one kind of runs. Looks really nice, but he trailers it to shows. You know, I think those things have a 6-cylinder. I think it's a German car, but I think it has a 6-cylinder Triumph engine in it. Oh man, it's been a while since I saw that thing. Oh, this is our stuff, or this is just generic Spitfire pictures.
Okay.
Yeah,
so-
that's the rear suspension. Which of course I'm gonna have to take some leaves out of that because it's not gonna be. I'm gonna have to lower it somehow, camber compensate or something because I don't want it to flip over. Because the body I build is gonna be really. No. But you know, one of the things I like about the Spitfire is it's going to be a really light car. It's going to be like aluminum and fiberglass, and I'll build it aircraft style lightness. And the it's got a little 4-cylinder Whitney Putney little British engine in it, which would be plenty of power. I just want to drive it. I don't want to go set any speed records in it.
So since we brought this up in my mind, this is a good conversation, even though it's late. I apologize all if you want to talk about the floaty car, but we don't have a floaty car, but we do have a Spitfire, and we started thinking about it. And we've talked about the Subaru, and one of the things that I've thought of doing for the Subaru, this is the swing axle suspension that is under our little Spitfire. And I know when I bought it, I was able to clearly see some of this suspension through the holes in the body. And I know it has a bad pinion seal. So all the fluid is probably leaked out of it. And then if you look at this suspension, it is horrible. It's really bad.
It's not that bad.
It's terrible. And if you actually go under the car, the wheels go like this. It's all worn out. And I was thinking, and the other problem with this car, the rear suspension, obviously. I've lost my mouse. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm a little slow, but you're still here, so you must not hate me. Spitfire, bolt pattern. So Spitfires have a unique bolt pattern that is like 4 on 92.5 or something crazy like that. Nobody makes them. So the only place you can get wheels for Spitfire, and the 13-inch tires, which if anybody has gotten 13, you can get 13-inch performance tires. You can get trailer tires that are 13 inches.
It says $225 for a set of adapters. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so you get wheel adapters, which is going to mess with your.
Why not just use the wheels that are there? I'll just make
Because
it's tiny. The wheels will be small. It'll look like just like a little car with little wheels.
I want to take the differential from the Subaru and back half it just like I'm doing with the Dart to the Spitfire. And that will bring us to 4-on-100 bolt pattern and modern brakes and a differential that if it ever failed, we could just buy another one out of the junkyard. They're very plentiful. Where Spitfire parts are
I just want to get that thing running.
obscure. Well, getting it running is before we do anything fancy. We got to see if we can get the motor running. Because if we can't get the motor running, that changes things.
Yeah, then the whole project's like not.
Yeah.
But you didn't pay a lot of money for it. If we get it running and it can drive and put bearings or whatever it needs in the back, and probably have to take a leaf or two out of that spring to make it set a little lower. And I want to build a body out of aluminum and fiberglass and just make a little sports car out of it, or a little Jeep or anything, any little get around car that doesn't have to be fast, just a little something that doesn't look like that. Oh, that doesn't look so bad. Ours looks terrible. Ours is made out of mud. And she said you can look through the holes to see the frame.
Look how little it looks with this guy. Yeah. Look how small that car looks next to that guy, and it really does look tiny like that out in the yard. It's so small.
Yeah. Yeah, and that one looks good. The one we have is just you walk up to it, and it's just you can see that body's ours. You can see it's made out of rust, and people have caked Bondo on it and painted over it, and some of it's fallen off. And that body's not good. Never going to be good. There's a bend near my job where the apex is the peak of the hill. Oh, that must be fun. There's some fun hill hopping. Never get too carried away. My buddy stuck his split bumper RS there. Oh man, not familiar with those enough. I might have a shift knob maybe. That's what we need. A nice little, like one of those party shop turds.
Shit knob. Yeah. Oh man. Don't make my car into shit.
That'd be terrible. Those little like dog poos that are from party shop, they're plastic. You just screw that on there, so you have to grab the little.
What would
turd.
it say instead of Hearst?
Just say, it wouldn't have to say anything. Everybody know what it is.
It would just say turd.
Well, they also have those like plastic rubber barfs you could get and put them on the floor. And in school, somebody put that in front of the teacher's desk. The teacher walked in and he stopped, and it was right next to the trash can. And he looked at it. He's just staring at it. It had like a little piece of hot dog in it and everything. And the guy that put it there, the whole class is laughing. The guy comes up there, he rolls it up, sticks it in his pocket. And the teacher looks at it and goes, "I take it it's artificial." Yeah, it's artificial. Yeah. Man, that MG, what MG did you have? I really like the MGB, the last of the MGBs. The ones with the big rubber bumpers. Most people don't like them, but they had a better instrument panel in them and they drove nice. They were maintenance loving cars, but I still like those MGBs. But they're getting old. It's like everything that I liked back then. They're all getting really old. I put on the stronger reading glasses.
I'm getting to that time of night myself.
Yeah, it's getting there. How long have we been on? We've probably been on, bump it up on 3 hours. Yeah,
244.
244. Yep, we've been on a while. Which MG had the 215 MGTC? I didn't think any MGs had them. Maybe. I know the Triumph TR8s had them. The TR7 had a Triumph engine, and the TR8, that was a little wedge-shaped thing. He had a 215. Actually, I think it was a 3500 Rover engine, which was basically the same thing. What you looking for? What you looking for? I don't know what you're looking for. Oh, yeah. Well, you got to get a camber compensator, so you can't let that happen. No, you cannot let that happen. The MG GT came with the 215 Buick. Oh, it did. I didn't know that. Well, the GT, isn't that the one that had the hardtop? Wow. That must have been a fun car to drive. Huh. Mini lights are sweet on those sports cars. Yeah. Yeah, there's a thing called a camber compensator, or you just fix it, put limiters on there so that doesn't happen. Yeah, the hardtop. That's what I thought. They were hardtops. I didn't really like those. One of the few convertibles I liked was those last couple of years of MGBs. Oh, that's a Sprite, isn't it? Or is that a Spitfire? That's a Spitfire too.
It's a GT6.
Okay. Oh, that's one of the
that
6-cylinder. They had a 6-cylinder. Some British 6-cylinder. I don't know. But see the red one down there? That one? Is that a TR7 or a TR8? Oh, that's showing wheels.
Yeah.
Well, the TR7 looked like that. Had a British engine. TR8 had the 215 in it.
This is what mine looks like. It's an MK3. But it doesn't look like that.
I like those MG hatchbacks or whatever they were. Yeah. I don't know. I liked them when they were the convertibles. Of course, I was driving that thing around in Southern California, and it was always nice out. So even in the wintertime, put a jacket on, turn the heater on, heated come past you. You never felt like you were cold.
We will let you know about the shift knob.
You actually have one.
We like it's you see it's like maybe second or third in line of projects, so it might be a little while. But when you see we're getting around to it to start, give us a reminder, and we'll give you information how we can get it from you.
Do I want one of those MGB GT? I don't know, not especially. If there was one right in front of me, a good deal, I might. But I don't know. We have a lot of stuff right now, and I gotta focus. Oh, there's a GT.
Focus is such a difficult thing. See, this is talking about the wheel adapter. It's 4 on 3 3/4.
I don't know.
That's a real problem. There.
Tires, spelled the British way.
Tires.
Huh. See, I don't really like the looks of that car. Man, I want to do something else. TR8 had the 215. I never got to drive one of those. I never drove a TR7 or a TR8. And all those years I had auto repair shops, I never had one, which says one of two things. Either they broke so badly that I never got to work on one, or they were so reliable I never got to work on one. So most cars I've driven, at least TARs, yeah, they're not tires. He says TARs.
No casings. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Shoot.
Where's that?
The very last comment.
Oh, no casings. The tires.
Barrows, I had a Volkswagen, front-wheel drive Volkswagen Rabbit. Man, it was good in the snow. It had a nice set of brand new Pirelli snow tires, and you could go anywhere. You didn't know 4-wheel drive. You just dragged the rear wheels. The only thing that would get you is if the snow was too deep, you bottom out, like it would lift the tires up off the ground. That's what would destroy you.
There's another car that's like kind of like a Ute. It was the Rabbit, the little Rabbit pickup. Except I think all of them in the U.S. had diesels, but I'm not sure because that, as far as I'm concerned, that ruined it. I don't have a little stinky diesel. But
I had a diesel one too.
Did you?
I had a white diesel one. And
I don't like that engine. I don't like the smell. It makes my eyes water.
Brown.
Yeah, they were terrible.
You got used to it, or you didn't.
But
give me a headache after a while.
But I liked the little Rabbit pickups, and of course Chrysler did have them here in the form of what was that thing called, a TC3 or something? It's a little front driver, looks like a Ute. But did US ever get a lot of some very short period of time? I think we had some coming in the Northeast. I know most of them came in through Canada.
Car Wizard has one, doesn't he?
Car Wizard has one, but I think he
Yeah,
had an
maybe.
owner's manual. He goes, oh, the owner's manual is in Russian, but it isn't in Russian because I know what Russian looks like. It looks like, I think it showed it so quickly. I think it was Polish, but it came from Eastern Europe. It didn't come from this side of the pond. They weren't all diesels, I think, but they all rusted. Maybe that's why they're diesels. If they're diesel, they get like spilled diesel all over and then they don't rust. Yeah, I don't know. I like driving rabbits. They were okay, but I like the Chrysler better though. I had a Chrysler that had a Volkswagen engine in it. What was that thing called? Dodge Omni, and it had a 1.7 Volkswagen, which came from Sirocco. So the engine and the head were VW, but everything on the outside of it was Chrysler, and it was back before the fuel injections, just before fuel injections. So it had some little Chrysler 2-barrel. That thing was great. Never did our Lotta get stuck. You had a Lotta, man.
We love watching Garage 54. They're always cutting old Lottas up and building crazy things with them.
I've always wanted a Russian car, but I've wanted a Volga. But a Volga's, yeah, the Rampage, exactly. I almost bought a Rampage, but I ended up getting a little Pinto, what do you call it? Little Pinto van because I could put my radiators and my parts and stuff inside, not out in the outdoors on a bed.
There's one for sale south of here, like 2 hours south of here.
What is?
A Dodge Rampage.
Really?
Yeah, but it's...
How bad is it? It's bad.
It's a basket case.
I mean, how is the body?
Yeah, it's okay. It's southern.
So we could put like a Olds Tornado or Eldorado.
Where are you going to get that? No. Kim can put the new motor in.
What I was starting to say, Russian cars, there's a car called a Volga, which in Russia was used by probably the KGB and government people. It was kind of an expensive car, but it's kind of like an American car, but smaller. Leaf springs in the back, double wishbones up front, but it had a little 4-cylinder engine. And I got to drive one in England, but it was, I don't know, it'd be a fun car here just to have it. But I just never had any Russian cars. Rode in Ladas in Zhiguli. That's what they call them in Russia, Zhiguli or Lada. Rode in them. Like, every car I rode in Russia was a Lada. The people then, it was shortly after the breakup of the Soviet Union, and anybody that had a car, and there weren't that many people with cars, they were just like gypsy cabs. $2, they'd take you just about anywhere. So did some of that. They felt like just like you were in a Fiat. Yeah, Rampage. Where's this Rampage? I don't know about this. How come you know about this and I don't know about this?
Because I didn't want to get it. It was too far. It's in Georgia somewhere.
Oh, that's not right south of here. That's a way south of here.
Yeah, that's a pretty far away. But I saw it listed. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. But it's front-wheel drive?
Yeah, it's a
K-car motor.
No. Oh, yeah, similar to K-car. It's like a Omni or Horizon, Plymouth Horizon or Dodge Omni. Yeah, they call it TC3 and the 024. The TC3 was the Plymouth, the 024 was the Dodge. And I had the Dodge Omni. I had an Omni that was almost new. It had kind of a turquoise colored leather interior. It was kind of an upscale Omni, but it had the original engine, which was it was a 79, and I got it in 80. So it was almost new, but it ran great. It was 40 mile a gallon car always. If I took it easy, it was 42 miles a gallon.
I remember the Dodge Omni.
See that gold one down there? Gold or brown or whatever it is. That one. Mine looked just like that, only it was kind of turquoise color. That's a little newer, actually. That's 81. Yeah, mine was a 79.
Those things were everywhere.
That was one of the nicest cars I ever had because it was so new and it was so clean. TC3 and 024 was EXP and LN7. Oh, EXP and LN7, man, what a poor excuse for a car those things were. I don't like those things at all. Those were Ford's version of.
Was it Omni a front wheel driver?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just like you open up the hood, it looked like a rabbit under there, except it was Chrysler stuff. And the original ones had Volkswagen 1.7 engines, and then after that they had 2.2 Chrysler engines. So the greater part of the run, they made them like for 10 years. Most of them had 2.2s, and the first year I think had the 1.7s. Let's see here. Yeah, and that's coming from a Ford guy. In Canada, they blew head gaskets. Which blew head gaskets? I wonder which cars those are. Teresa knows, etc. Were the same car, but coupe hatchback. Yeah, Roy. Which ones blew head gaskets? 2.2 turbo was a badass so power plant. Yeah, that's the one. Isn't that the one that Carroll Shelby helped develop?
Yeah, and they put them in little cars, so that was a lot of.
I never got to drive one of those. Never got to drive one of those.
I knew somebody had one, and he vlogged on it, and it would go.
Man, the 2.3 EFI turbo, those were in the Thunderbirds. I remember I had friends, he and his son both had 2.3 Thunderbirds, and they both loved those cars. Man, we went to look at a car on the weekend. Was it the weekend? I don't know. Saturday, I think. We went to look at a car because she needed a 2.8 V6 Ford, a Cologne engine. People said that's what it had. We got there, open up the hood, and there's 2.3.
Oh man!
And I said, it's a Pinto engine.
We drove all the way down to
And she's
Dixon.
Like, she's like, what? So we ended up not buying it. But now that I see this, I'm thinking, yeah, that was a much newer 2.3. That's probably a good engine, but I don't know if I'd want to spend the money to get it.
It wouldn't fit. It was the
No, I
wrong
mean,
thing.
just that it wasn't a bad truck. You could just get it running and clean that truck up and drive it.
We've got so many projects.
And the reason that truck is not driving is because the fuel pump took a crap.
Yeah,
or that's what they
who
think.
knows?
So he
That
says
was
when he's
weird.
spraying, he said when he's spraying starting fluid in, he could keep it running. Well,
Yeah.
So
I mean, I can make anything run. That doesn't mean it's worth anything.
yeah, but I keep thinking about that. That's not the original 2.3s used to break pistons, but after they made them turbos, they were much better engines. Good friend of mine cut up an Avenger to make his version of a Rampage. So I want to see that. Barrows, I want to see that. I got to see that. Man, I want to swap Shelby stuff into my Junior. Yeah, Horizon Omni. They used to blow head gaskets. That's the 2.2 I guess you're talking about. Because my 1.7
That's a different
Yeah,
engine
it's a-
family.
completely different engine family.
Yeah.
My 1.7 was a Volkswagen engine. It was fine.
Oh, that makes me think of something.
Yes, T-Birds and Cougars got the 2.3 turbo. Yeah, that's when the 2.3 became a much better engine, much more substantial engine. Because the early 2.3s, every one of them I had, I'd start flogging on it at all and break it. They started knock, 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 and then drive them for a while like that. But when you take it apart, you'd always find a piston skirt down in the oil pan, and they run like that. I think it's pretty funny. Oh, yeah, that's a original Escort, or that's a Mercury version of
That's
it.
a Mercury Lynx.
Yeah, Lynx. That's a
So when I started driving, the first car that my parents let me drive was my dad's. It was his work car. He just took it, drove it to work, parked it, worked, drove it home every day. That's all it did was just drive back and forth to work. He had no problems with it, but it had a ton of miles. For that car, that's a really junky car. It had like 130,000 miles, which was a lot of miles for one of those little cheap pieces of junk, right? And they didn't, I don't even think they did really oil changes. They just drove it. He just drove
keep
it.
pouring oil in it.
Drove it.
It's like a Vega. You don't change the oil.
It
You
was
just keep adding it.
so worn out. Every time I took it anywhere, it would break down on me because I drove it like a go-kart. You know what I mean? Just like my dad, drove it like pup, 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 pup. I drove it. It would overheat, and
What happened there? There was something that went away.
I don't know. Someone must have said something bad.
I think Danny Boyd wrote something. and then it went away. Avengers in the 90s were decent. Yeah, I had a friend that had an Avenger. That's why I said I wanted to see the Avenger. Cars are totally inside. Didn't sit all. They were following me old. Every car must be front wheel drive. Yeah. Well, the front wheel drive thing went over real well because it was pretty simple to go down an assembly line and you'd finish the body and everything. The only thing went onto the back was an axle, whatever you had for rear suspension, which most of them are pretty simple. And then the whole running gear just went up underneath. And I understood why they did that. And that's when everything was, they wanted light duty cars that, fuel economy.
Well, every car needs
And it
to be
worked well.
electric now.
I'm so tired of electric. What a mess that is.
Just like every truck has to be a fucking tank.
I
Pardon my French. Big tank.
I get tired of looking up my mirror and all I see is a license plate and bright lights on my truck. A truck that'll never get anything put in the bed. Front wheel drive, Reaper's Donuts are every bit as fun as.
Rear wheel drive.
I was talking to Kim about getting two front drivers. They'd both been hitting the back end and cutting them off and welding them together. Remember that?
Yeah, we've been busy.
And then we could do burnouts like a tug of war. 500 RPM will do that. Gears. Yeah.
So my dad's Mercury Lynx, I'd take it out. I wouldn't flog it that hard. I just drove different than my father. My father drove like put, 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 and I drove like, whoa. I wanted to go. And so we took the valve cover gasket off to see, because it was smoking a bit. It kept overheating and vapor locking.
Well, test.
And so on the top of the valves, you could just wiggle the valve when it was shut at the top of the valve spring. The guides were so worn.
They like this idea. Yes, you got to weld two front drives together.
Of course they like the idea. They don't have to do any of the work.
I'd be turning around and going like, Kim, put yours in neutral so we can go somewhere.
Man.
But I want to go this way. No, I want to
All
go
I
that
got
way.
is trucks. You want to weld two trucks
Then we
together?
turn one this way and the other one this way, and then we go around in circles. Just smoke, and neighbors call the police, and then
We were going to do that for the burnout contest.
Yeah, I want to do that. Don't keep your mouth shut, because man, we still may do that for the burnout contest. Well, two old tornadoes together or something, two front halves, so we get some power.
An old tornado.
So we have some power.
It has to be small enough we can put it on the trailer with two motors in a car.
Or drive it down there with half of it going backwards.
No, you're out of your mind.
Put red bulbs in the turn signal so you have taillights back there. Oh man, I found the pictures of that Avenger Rampage. I'd be more than happy to share them. Yeah, hey, if you can share those with me, the best way probably is email buffdelcampo@gmail. And I do check that. I do check that email account. Oh, I've got to see that. 4-wheel drive with 4-wheel steer with toe balls, not donuts. Oh man. Yeah, I'm.
Did you tell him how to get the pictures? What did you tell him? I didn't even know what
Buff
to say.
Del Campo.
I'm running out of steam, people. I'm sorry.
buffdelcampo@gmail.com. Yeah, you know what she does after live? She says we have some housekeeping to do, and then she goes, after I rest. And then tomorrow morning she's done resting. She conks out after these.
This
What
is
time is
hard
it?
work. This was
That's
your
in.
email.
It's not email. It's a tornado warning.
Oh my, really?
I think that's what it is. I don't know. There were tornado warnings, or it's a cancellation of tornado warning. I don't know what it is. Storm Prediction Center. Isolated severe thunderstorms. What's the other one?
Is everybody doing okay? There's thunderstorms in places.
What's the other one?
Isolated bad storms.
Yeah, this is earlier we had the tornado warnings.
Kitty.
That was a cat at the door.
No, someone says that Alam says they have their kitty.
Oh. So yeah, the tornado warnings or whatever, watches, whatever, they're gone. You know when that really was, it was, you remember we had that bad storm earlier where it was, I thought there was a jet off in the
Oh,
distance,
yeah.
and then it started getting louder, and I go, man, that's not a jet.
Yeah, we had some
Come
high
on.
winds.
I
High winds.
thought I got your number at No Name Nationals, but if you do have my number, you could text it to me. Special guest Kitty has, yeah. I rest through all of my housekeeping. I rest through all my housekeeping. Yeah, that's what I do. I rest as much as possible. It's kind of funny. She takes care of some stuff, and I take care of the stuff. And what are you doing? The things I take care of are the dishes. I take care of the kitchen. Try to keep the dishes under control. Oh, Lamb Custom Classics. Oh, I just finished playing Lumberjack. Oh, really? Oh, what's that? Another Lynx? There's a
Yeah.
little Lynx
That looks so much
two-passenger
like
one, which is what, the LN7? Look up the LN7. You'll see what we're talking about. It's a two-passenger one of those. I say it's a worthless little crappy car, but yeah, those things.
I would have loved to have one of those.
Oh.
They were cool.
Really?
I don't know.
They were the same running gear as that other thing you were just showing. The Ford, the American Escort. The British got a good Escort. We got a piece of crap.
Look, that picture makes it
Look
look
at that.
fancy.
It
Resale red.
is supposed to be fancy, but it's just
Resale red.
resale red. And there's somebody made that one all fixed up.
See?
Made it look like something cool when it's
See if
probably have to push that thing. I like cat videos. I'm addicted. Tracks dangerous storms. Oh man, well, I don't know what you're looking for.
I don't either.
I don't like those cars. I don't know. I had a friend that had one. I rode in it once, and it's like,
All right. Well,
it's like an Escort. Only got 2 seats, and it's not an exciting car. When the tornadoes hit in '74, my folks were out of town, and
tornadoes
was staying with me, and she called them tornadoes. So you were. What's the name of that town? Because I'd just been there before that happened. It's right near Cowan Lake. What's the name of that town where the city where that big ass tornado hit in '74? I can't think of it. I should know it because I was there right before. And then the place got destroyed. Xenia, Ohio. I had just been there. That was a near miss. The EXP's wheezed if you ever tried to, I don't know what that is, speedify them. Now what are you looking at? More Utes?
I don't know. I'm just putting something fancy up so we can
Australian Utes.
not look at Dodge Omnis.
I was in 2nd grade. I was in my first year of the Air Force, 2nd year of the Air Force. I went in '73. That was in '74. So I was 20. You were in 2nd grade. Yeah. I was in Clayton on the other side of Dayton. No tornadoes hit us. Yeah, I was there seeing a friend, and we had been to Dayton, and the airport at Dayton. We drove there. We towed his bug-eyed Sprite there from Illinois, and dropped the bug-eyed Sprite off. And then we went over to Cowan Lake and went to Xenia and all kinds of stuff around there. We just hung out in the area, and then went back to work. And man, then all that happened. Well, his father, he lived in New Jersey, but he had relatives in Dayton. So his father drove from New Jersey and picked up with a tow bar. And we had a tow bar. So we towed his bug-eyed Sprite to Dayton, and then his father picked it up and towed it the rest of the way to New Jersey. You ever seen you know what a bug-eyed Sprite is?
I think we've looked at them before.
Oh, we probably had. Okay. So we can just keep looking at Utes.
No, that's okay.
James M. Cox International Airport. We were right in the flight path and during all the old loud turbojet days. Yeah, it was one of those. He had one of those. It was primer gray. We towed it to Dayton, and then his father towed it to New Jersey. And I talked to him recently. I actually found this guy on Facebook. I haven't seen him in 50 years. And I asked about his. No, he got rid of it a long time ago. All I think I sent them to you, Buff. Email. Okay, let's see. I'll look and see if they showed up on my phone.
If you
Oh, they'll be on my email. I don't know if I have that email on this phone because I like to look at.
What about on your Google account? You can look at it there and bring the pictures up in there.
I have several Google emails, and I don't really want to log into that one on here because I got a business one on here, and then I'll miss business stuff. The defense contractor I work for.
What about on there? You can't do it on there?
Oh, I suppose I could.
Just open a new window.
Yeah. Oh, what am I doing here?
So I got to make my fuel tank for my
fuel tank.
Case 1816B. And then we have to put new suspension parts in the Valiant, which we already been working on.
Guess what? You're right. Here we go.
Okay.
I'm looking at these pictures. Look at this.
Okay, you got pictures.
Oh, guess what? This is going up.
You can slide them over
I'm going to
there.
try to slide it over there. Let's see if I can do. Oh, the mouse got caught. Oh, this is cool.
Okay.
He sent this to us. Now I can't grab it. Grab. Oh, it won't grab. You thing. Look at that. Okay, then you got to do a swap thing over there.
There it is. And then I'll make it smaller.
And I'll try to make it go up higher. And I'll try to stem this, go as far as I can go. Well, that's pretty cool. And then there's other pictures in this.
That's wild.
Let's see if I can do this. Oh, yeah, there we go. I don't know, maybe I'm better off doing it. Oh, there, I can scoot it that way a little bit. You got to fix this because it says it's all inny, like a belly button. I think it means shiny. Can you scoot the chat over so I can see all the words there? I guessed it was all shiny, not all inny. Man, look at that. And he drives that around. That's like a daily driver. Oh, man. Some people got imagination. I like that.
Look at the truck in the background.
Third brake light above the back light and shave spoiler. Yeah, what's in the background? Does he drive under that truck with the ute? Yeah, that's something. And I like that where you can email something to me and you can pop it right up on the screen. That's pretty good. Pontiac 6000. What's this? Pontiac 6000? Where's the Pontiac? What are you saying, Pontiac 6000?
Look. It has the look of a Pontiac 6000.
Things a Pontiac 6000. Man, that's my favorite A-body GM car, and I never owned one. I had every other one. I had Celebrities. I had a couple of Sierras. I had many Buick Centuries. Never had a Pontiac 6000. That's our old monster truck, Thumper. We sold it many years ago.
That's amazing.
How do you get in that? You got an elevator. You go under and inside like a B-52. Yeah. Well, Kim, we've been on here, 3.5 hours?
Oh, geez, yeah.
3 hours and 15 minutes.
More than 3 hours.
Yeah, I think we ought to.
Y'all have been great. What a fun time.
Yes, I said, entered cab through the floor. Yeah, like a B-52. Walk up the chevrons on the front tires. Yeah, that's probably what you do. All right, let's shut it down.
All right, say goodbye. Very nice to everyone.
Yeah, it's been good having you all here, and thanks for showing up. And for those of you that were here for the first 2 hours, thanks for putting up with all the confusion with two channels going at the same time. But it worked. It just wasn't Perfect.
And we learned a lot. Sometimes you just have to jump into things and do them terribly before you know what you didn't know. And we're good at that on this channel. So we appreciate you being so supportive of us. And we enjoy communicating and getting to know people better this way. I think the community part is the most value to us because we don't make any money. So if we're not making some friends and having a good time, there's no point. And so this is what keeps us going. Hope we've inspired you or given you some encouragement on your own projects. You know, like get after it. And we will see you next Tuesday. Thanks for being here.
Take care, everybody.